Hello.
Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? We're here. It's Sunday. Welcome.
Hmm.
We're going to talk about some shit. And
Well,
here with, well,
it's
maybe
a,
not some shit. We'll see. Maybe some good shit.
it's a consistent hello to all. A second
Yep.
week in a row, right? So we are
Yeah.
doing it.
2 weeks in a row. It's true.
Yeah,
Uh
we're trying us getting to the stride of doing stuff.
yeah.
Um, uh, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Okay. See you next week. Click. Whatever you'd like. I was working, so I actually read a bunch of stuff, but other than that, I've been working all week, so I
Yeah.
haven't seen
Have
anything.
oh no, you haven't watched The Fringe? Oh hello,
Oh
somebody
God,
got
no, no.
here.
I downloaded a bunch of it though. Hello
Okay.
420, but I didn't watch any of it yet. No, I haven't had a chance.
Oh.
We're on like this weird shift. On Friday we started at 3:30 in the afternoon. On
Mhm.
Monday we're gonna start at 6:30 in the morning. On Tuesday we're gonna start at 4 in the afternoon. So
Oh.
it's all over the place. So just trying to catch sleep when you can.
Why is that like such a random schedule?
So they can shoot night stuff. Otherwise, because we're shooting in a mall,
Oh.
and if they want to shoot like day for night, which is what it's called, then they'd have to black out the mall, and that's just not going to happen. So then for the night scenes, they're just going to wait until night to shoot the stuff at night because it's got skylights all the way along the center of the mall, and we just can't black all that out, So it's just too big of a job.
Oh.
So they do this to us instead, all sorts of weird split shifts.
Hmm. Well,
Yep.
kind of sounds old school, right? When the time comes, you go film in a way, right?
Yeah, I mean it's not even old school. It happens still to this day. It's always happened. You know what I mean? Either it's always like, do we want to tent the house or do we want to just shoot at nighttime? And it's usually cheaper just to shoot at nighttime. So
So I tell you what we watched. So we watched Naked Gun with Liam Neeson
oh,
and
the new
Pamela
one, yeah, nice.
Anderson. And guess
Uh-huh.
who's the biggest fan of that movie was?
Your son.
Yep.
Yeah,
He watched from the minute we started to end without any moaning that is boring, that he doesn't like it. Of course, I had
yeah,
to, but some of it like naughty bits, like they do have it. So I tried to cover. He found it this is actually hilarious, and he
uh-huh.
loved that part. But he absolutely loved it. But the thing is, after all the bad guys, he's like, snow. There's a snowman, okay, and that tickled like proper. He like, oh my god, the snowman is actually the evil guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Honestly, I am surprised seeing this kind of movie and continuation, according to my husband. So all of it, like the guns before then. So Liam Neeson becomes a son of the whatever his name is. He's a very funny guy. What is his name?
yeah. Leslie Nielsen, wasn't that actor's name? Was that his name? I don't remember
He,
what his name was in the movies, but yeah,
completely great guy. Yeah, it's funny,
yep,
hilarious, absolutely. So
hilarious. Yeah,
they are absolutely went to the T of the previous stuff. Like I've not seen movie. I never thought they will make movies like this anymore. To be honest, I thought
mm,
it's just a, era thing, right? You go through those and
right.
you don't go anymore. But honestly, I have to tell you, I was surprised how bad and entertaining it is in the same time.
Yeah,
Like absolutely horrible in some ways, but but and also what's really surprising as well is Liam Neeson's being part of it because you wouldn't think that. And the scene which they actually completely spoiled, I think the one of the best scenes you have in the movie is when he's pretending to be like a schoolgirl with a lollipop and
uh-huh.
and it's in the trailer, so nothing I can say. It's a spoiler alert. And he
Yeah,
turns into him, yeah, right? It's like 2 meter
yeah,
tall man. It's like kind of
yeah,
absolutely donkeless. So that's what's hilarious. So it's very entertaining. Honestly, I thought for the first time we actually can watch something which it doesn't have to invest like brain cells whatsoever. Like your brain cells completely takes rest because it's just you take it with a stride, right? And I really like the
yeah.
chemistry between Neeson and Pamela. I think
Right.
she's fantastic as always. Like you kind of remember her. I wanted to watch her movie. She had this very like cheap budgeted movie. I forgot the name of. she was in. I wanted to watch it, but I forgot the name of it, and I can't, like, maybe I don't know. I'm maybe like I couldn't find it properly. But
Yeah.
when I saw this one, it was ability for us to watch. I just put it on, and yeah, my son absolutely cracked. Like he did, he got upset because we had to pause it because we needed to do some, like, have a drink or something. He was like, "Come on, now I want to see the rest of it." It's like, you
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
movies like this. Like I put cartoon movie with action, and he was like, "Oh, bored" in some places, right? In
Yeah.
this one, there's no time he skipped. It's like
Yeah.
unbelievable.
I mean, those
Attention,
movies were
full.
always a bit like a Looney Tunes cartoon, right? Like it's just
Right,
gag
yeah.
after gag after gag and silly,
Exactly,
silly.
because it's non-stop silly, right?
Yeah.
They always get in trouble. He always
Yeah.
like, but some of the sentences, of course, passes him by, which is actually quite good because of this age,
Yeah.
right? Which is great in that sense. But the action-wise, it's just non-stop, and it's just like hilarious, honestly. How, like, but the momentum, you have to hit the right moments, right? In those movies, if you miss something, that probably even, I don't know if it would work or wouldn't work. I don't know how that would be, but it seems to be they have done it really, like editing solutions maybe was really well done because it doesn't look like they had missed the beat, right? And those
Mm-hmm.
movies needs those kind of things.
Yeah.
And the cast, I was like, excuse me, everyone you could think of, like, you wouldn't think they would be, like, as I say, first them two, right? They want to be part of this kind of thing. It seems to be they did, and it
Yeah.
worked really well as a main cast. And then you have other ones which I can't name, unfortunately. But if you guys, look it up in the cast, you'll probably see it. And I was surprised, honestly, the
Mm-hmm.
amount of actors, and they managed to in, have them to come in the movie like that. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
hilarious, and it was
Yeah. It
really
looks
funny.
pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's, well, I mean, it's worth to just spend if you want that kind of like really relaxation from
Yeah.
the TV, movie, and entertainment stuff like that. So it's kind of refreshing to watch stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
very
Yeah. Cool.
memorable. Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched that. I watched a lot of Fringe now since I told you about,
Oh yeah.
because I
Really?
know
Yeah.
because I
You
know you
started from the
have.
beginning and just went for it.
Yeah, because when we spoke, I was like, okay, cool, I want to watch it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course,
What
I
have I
watched it.
downloaded?
Yeah, I watched
Go
quite
ahead.
long time ago, but I still like it. There's some
Right.
of this stuff kind of misses in now that I know it, but when you
Right.
watch, like when I didn't know what's happening, the plot line actually still sticks quite well. But I like those kind of like alternative universe stuff, which you find out slowly. It kind of like unravels, and the director of that TV show is J.J. Abrams. So if you're definitely familiar with this guy, so he's done a
Yeah.
couple of few
Absolutely.
good TV shows. So
Yeah.
it's really works anyway. So
I got the first six, seven, eight. I got the first 9 episodes on the computer. I just haven't watched
yeah,
any of them yet, but they're there, downloaded, ready to
I
go.
just John Noble, which is one actor's name I know, and
Uh-huh.
Joshua Jackson. Okay, now I know too. Um, so John Noble is fantastic. So he's this crazed scientist who actually in the era of 60s 70s was like stepping stone into that kind of scientific levels of things, and then come to this time when the like really really weird stuff happens. He's there kind of they take him from the cuckoo house because he's absolutely insane, right?
Hmm.
And he has this no relationship with his son, and then you unravel that situation. It's kind of interesting how it actually goes. It's actually really kind of meticulously starting to tell a story, and it's
Hmm.
continuously going from bad to worse, that's what the whole main goal is, because there's two competing worlds, right? A mirror
Hmm.
of each other, like really different in some, like the same, like us, for example, but in different,
Right.
choices in life has made anyway, and consequences of that. And I really enjoy it. Some of the episodes hits really well, some of them doesn't. It's lots of graphic things because they do dissect lots of people, lots of deaths, right?
Hmm.
So in some ways, I don't even like, when I was watching some episodes, I didn't want my son to actually glance upon it because it's just too bloody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
In my country's, funny enough, I've forgotten about it, but I was watching a live television from my country, and I remember I saw they basically completely covered the bloody parts. So you watch the
Oh,
same
really?
episode that you would do, but they pixelate it so you can't actually
Uh-huh.
make up what the hell is going on. And I
Yeah.
thought that was the only time when I was growing up, but they still doing that.
Yeah. Crazy.
So say censoring that kind of like bloody things for
Yeah, the
like
violence. Yeah, yeah.
they only do it after 10 p.m. Could you believe? So all the movies, like really good action, like slash gore movies, you only would be able after 10 Lithuanian time, right?
Right,
So
right.
that's quite late. I mean, imagine you go to work next day and like you
Hmm.
can't barely watch anything like that kind of sense. Like if it's
Hmm.
would be of course live TV I'm talking about. If it's streaming, of course you probably can do whatever the hell you want. But I was surprised that it still existed in my country. So it's kind of
Yeah,
bizarre. I thought this only happened like when I was growing up, but they're still doing it to this day. So
yeah,
intriguing.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, do you want to start us off? Do you want to
Well,
jump into it?
I can. I mean, I've been blabbing around like
Yeah,
for
no,
half
that's
an
yeah,
hour.
that's fine.
I've been
Do you want the
uh
screen or do you have something there?
oh yeah, actually you can start with that. That's
Yeah,
actually one
sure.
of the best things I read, to be honest.
Really?
Well, in a way.
This
Let's
is
say
the
this.
new this is the new one, right?
Yeah, this is the Voyager. It's I like it a lot. I
Yep.
found the Voyager TV series because it's a female-led
I loved the Voyager
captain,
TV series.
and they saying is the worst ending TV show of Star Trek.
Really? Hey, interesting. I mean, I'd
I've
have to
read.
really think about what that ending was because I sure as hell don't remember. I just
Well,
remember really loving that series quite a bit.
I think
Janeway was
the
awesome.
yeah Janeway is still really good. Did you know? There's this fun fact I learned that 7 of 9 and Janeway didn't get along at all in the real life, but they were buddies
I
in
mean,
the
that doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
and the
Interesting.
buddies in the on the TV show. So that's interesting dynamic.
Acting.
Yeah. So yeah, they did really well together as an actors, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like really what kind of like bad mouthing is that? But I guess I don't know what with some people are people. I guess they go don't get
Yeah.
along, you don't get along.
Yeah, that's
So
right. It's a job.
I don't know this great writer Susan and Tilly Bridges. Never heard of them. Did
Hmm.
you? Have you?
Nope, never heard of him.
No clue. And Angel Hernandez. I don't know if she's Angel the lady Angel or Angel the male Angel because I think
Hmm.
it goes both ways. Looks spectacular to be honest. It's a little bit too spectacular when it comes to faces. It seems to be kind
Oh
of
yeah.
like used technology to up the
Yeah.
likeness of the
Interesting.
characters. It's really well kind of introduces to you what's happened to the crew kind of thing. The how it ended they finally gonna about to reach the earth and it ended without giving you anything. They didn't give you afterwards what happened to them when they landed. They didn't give you afterwards anything. Like no characters had that moment whatsoever. They did do it in like middle of the season when they just like dreamed of an Earth. There was an episode
Hmm.
where they kind of like they thought actually they reach Earth finally, and they actually didn't. There was just in dream state or something. Somebody took over their bodies or something like, or they were something happened. I don't remember clearly. But in here, it basically tells you they finally after like this voyage of being put in the way, and it tells you all that like what really happened to them in this couple of pages, who you met, like what happened to them. This one that was the most bizarre episode I watched on Star Trek because that's her and Chakotay, right? And
Uh-huh.
Janeway and Chakotay, and they were making babies, right?
Right.
Being part of those kind of creatures. So she's like, I never want to remember. She was the best, probably Borg available in like in actress wise, like the ability to be Borg in that sense. Like it was, I
Hmm.
really was fascinated by the actress and stuff like that. Another sad part of it, one of the ladies who were Borg in the Picard series, she died from breast cancer. That was like kind of sad story. Anyway,
Hmm.
I'm a bit jumpy. But it's really much like you're reading straight after that series ended, and what's what you expect them to happen, right? They're about to the Earth. You can see they are about to land. They have this boarding party coming in. Everything seems to great, like Chakotay and Janeway having this like talk conversations, like, oh my god, how are we getting 4 admirals coming into our ship? What to do? What's the honor for us, like being that kind of things, and lots of things they were going to tea of what TV show was happening in here. And they were like, it's kind of like telling you what's happened, blah, blah, blah. And of course, Janeway having her last cup of coffee because she's absolutely addicted to coffee. And she's like, oh, yeah, just for memory, like almost like having a bad drink. I need another one just for taste before I leave this. And of course, something bad happens, and Tuvok, our what's his species? Oh my god, why am I doing the
The
species?
Vulcan.
The Vulcan, yeah, the Vulcan, who has been like such a good hand for Janeway to deal with all the situations. He's seeing stuff which is not really great, and they give him the reins to this guy, and then they realize that the people who they met or come to the party is actually not humans, and they are those aliens which even Borg were afraid of. And I think the more you know about those species, and I think main of the story, if I am not crisscrossing in my brain, is the same as Deep Space Nine's had one of the officers who is
Mm.
was changing. You could change in any shape and form.
Uh-huh.
They use the DNA or things. So that's what happened in here. And of course, it just unravels. They're starting to realize who it is who takes over. And of course, there's a revelation. I mean, a bit of a spoiler alert, but hey, who cares? This is the dudes are coming after them. And
Hmm.
apparently, the situation why they are doing this is because Voyager has a weapons. Because when they were in Alpha Quadrant in survival, they were getting all the stuff like to survive. Like they were exchanging things like to make sure that the survival is at the essence. And they went to do a lot of crazy stuff like temporal disturbance. That's what I'm saying, that they were jumping into time and on Earth and stuff like that. But yeah, it's fantastic. Honestly, it's like what you would expect in continuations of TV series.
Yeah,
I
cool.
absolutely loved Torres' character. She was the badass, another female, very strong females in this TV show. And it's, of course, that's why probably I was so enthralled by this TV show. Seeing females
Yeah.
being in the forefront of the TV show, it's always helped a lot for me. Like that's why Xena was always one of my favorite TV shows to watch, female led based characters. And I don't know.
Hmm.
So yeah, and then they are and it's to be continued to what end, I don't know, but it's quite a honestly really good Star Trek
Yeah, cool.
plotline. It
Yeah.
worked to like to everything what you expect. The character seems to be like almost heard her voice in the, when you read they ask you, would you do the same, like you hear the people's voice, and I definitely in my brain I
Yeah.
felt like I was hearing all of them,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it did really work. So yeah, it seems to be like they part of it. The another thing is continuation wise, so Torres just gave birth to the child, and I could have sworn Star Trek Voyager, her child was about to like going to like kindergarten. So I'm not sure if I'm
I thought
mistaken,
so. Yeah.
because in here they say, well, she just gave birth to the baby, okay, and
Uh-huh.
and I was like, uh? So that's the only inkling of something at a miss, right? So
Hmm.
maybe it's not really the homecoming I was keep on saying to you, like what we've imagined, but they were saying like, oh no, this is like continuations, what would happen. The series
Right.
finally is going to get some, like, well, people or fans will finally get some answers who as the fans of a Voyager, like what you expected to happen after. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
intriguing. But yeah, so
Yeah,
far
cool.
as panels look great, everything kind of looks great. A bit too realistic in a way, so maybe it is
Yeah.
used in some ways to help them to do that. But you know, I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of have to look familiar, right? Because if you're using the
I mean, that
characters
seems to be
well,
the style of art that they use for all this kind of stuff. It's a lot of the
yeah,
Serenity stuff too has a similar kind of look. Like when they do get the characters to look
yeah,
like the characters, it almost feels like it's just projected and traced
mm,
to some degree at some of the panels. But it
mm,
has this kind of seems to be like a standard look for this kind of thing.
yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, I was like, I knew I the minute I saw it and I saw Janeway's figure, I was like, oh shoot, I kind of, but I was okay to do it digitally because I kind of like stuff like that in digital format. Like space, it looks so much better on a digital format when it is on
Right.
paper. Sometimes it's not really clicking with me, that kind of stuff. Like I was reading some of the Star Wars stuff, and they didn't look really great for me on paper. But then I was reading on digital, it worked tremendously well for me. So I don't know,
Hmm.
maybe it's just a feel. It's kind of interesting how it goes with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, you can
Cool.
go to two. Yes,
That's pretty cool.
it is.
Um, what? Sorry.
I said that it is pretty cool.
Yeah. Where the heck did I put that one? Um, an unusual one to start with for me. Oh, here it is.
Uh,
I
maybe.
picked up. I've been in a little bit of a. Well, you'll see by the thumbnail
Oh yeah, it
for
is.
this one. But I also then picked up
Oh really?
Superman #1, the Kryptonite Spectrum. So it's done by the
Mm-hmm.
Ice Cream Man creators,
Yeah.
writer and artist there.
Oh wow.
Um, and it's really fucking good, actually.
Uh-huh.
Like really, really good. Feels feels very much like that Burnham kind of style, right? So
That sounds nice.
Superman has discovered some new variations of kryptonite.
Oh, quite chunky it
So
looks,
these are
eh?
the ones that already exist, and then he's discovered some new colors, and he wants to kind of
Oh yeah.
test them on himself to see what they do, just in case they get into the hands of the one and only Lex Luthor. So
Mm-hmm.
he wants to do these tests, so he gets Batman to come and help him. So there's kind of the new colors, and I guess each issue is going to be experimenting with one of the colors. So it's like it's like they're just sampling drugs and seeing the effects. So the first one that they do, this purple kryptonite, it
Mm-hmm.
shifts his perception of time.
Oh.
So and that's where I feel like these Ice Cream Man artists, even though or creators rather, even though
Mm-hmm.
I'm not super familiar with their work, what
Mm-hmm.
I've heard from people is they're very inventive kind of storytellers. So
Mm-hmm.
this one, because he's kind of shifting from present to past to different kind of things and jumping,
Mm-hmm.
they get a chance to play with like comic book storytelling, so he's having conversations that you see later on in the book. There's one excellent passage that I'll show you as it kind of comes,
Mm-hmm.
but it's done so well at first because it's very subtle, where it feels like maybe he's just confused and you don't know if he's hallucinating or something. So the way they kind of lay it out is very, very impressive. And then this is how he sees the days of the month when he's shown a calendar. It's
Oh
all
wow.
jumbled. He just can't make sense of things, right? So that's what this purple kryptonite does to him. So eventually, of course, we got to have a big fight, and there's Solomon Grundy. So we get these couple of pages where it really jumps around in kind of classic comic book storytelling, but you get kind of the narration that's as you're reading this page, the narration makes sense. It's what's in the page sort of doesn't make sense, but sort of does.
Oh my god.
So we get a couple of pages of that, and then finally he figures it out and is able to put it into place. And then we get a page with the accurate art as
Uh-huh.
it's supposed to be for those
Oh
previous
no.
pages, which was just very, very clever. Really nice use of kind of comic books. This was a total blast. Like I was surprised at how good it was. It looked fantastic, and it seemed like it was worth it to give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because I read that Supergirl book and it just fucking blew me away. I guess I'm in the mode now for something else. So this is Black Label, of course, so gives
Yeah.
them a chance to kind of experiment with things, but really, really worth picking up. I don't know how many issues. I assume 4 issues since there's 4 crystals, but I don't know if they're gonna to kind of tie it up or something like that. But so it's them, that duo doing the whole thing, which I think that'll be really fun actually if it's anything like that first issue. So yeah,
The minute you show me the colors, I actually start realize, oh, are we doing the Green Lantern thing? Because we
yeah,
have all spectrum of the colors as well. So
yep,
it seems to be that maybe if it's the drug related kind of situations, that's kind of intriguing.
totally.
It looks quite beefy. It looks like a bit meaty, that Superman. It's funny because the creators, they like with the way it looks, there Superman in there is that they use the outline of the black, but inside there's no blacks, so
Ah,
it
right.
makes it look like everything kind of puffy because there's no outline.
Interesting. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what my eye would see.
yeah,
Maybe,
yeah,
but it looks like it's a bit like a bit more weight to the
yeah.
Superman
He sure
usually.
does. Yeah, he
Because
looks almost
in
chubby. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
yeah,
because in other Supermans, he looks like too slender for
to be
being that
cut and yeah,
powerful.
yeah,
Yeah, like almost
yeah,
too ripped kind of thing. Like too many six packs, right? Probably
yeah.
12 in
Right.
there.
And not six
Um,
packs of beer.
uh-huh. So yeah, uh,
Hello, Dan Elson. How you doing, man?
I'll go in the same route of the DC comic books. I
Okay.
could not resist. If you can put on oh, present, present,
Oh, this
present.
thing. Sorry. Yeah,
No.
one sec. Hold on a sec. There you go.
So to our surprise, or to my surprise, Batman #1 is on, I don't know why they need a Batman number one. I thought they
Right.
all whatever. This is all in again, but they have absolute universe. Apparently, that Batman kicks ass. But I guess Matt Fraction is coming back. I guess writing
That
more of
fraction,
the
crazy.
comic book. So he's thing. But everybody's saying that Jorge Jimenez became a number one artist for Batman. He's always there, but the writers keeps changing. But Jorge keeps staying apparently. At least that's what I heard. I'm not really consistent reader of the Batman, but I always try to pick up number one. And this one, honestly, didn't blow my socks off whatsoever. I really like the way it represents itself, like art wise, is really stellar. Uh, Let me introduce you to James Gordon. It's just a mere copper,
Right.
nothing commissioning
Cop.
wise. He's like the guy who is like aging constable or whatever or officer without having idea of being in a ladder, like job ladder is not there. Also you have a Batman looking slender, looking kind of very bluish, no black, lots of blue and yellow, so I guess old school Batman ghetto, right? Because of grays, blues and yellows in there. Then you have the scientist, who she is, I'm not really sure. But oh no, she's a scientist who's basically Killer Croc's escapes. And she's the one who's helping him. Apparently Killer Croc is going backwards. I find that this Batman scene with the cape being flocked away like a flower. It's very familiar to, and a lot of artists use that.
Yeah.
And I find that quite fascinating that they can continue still using it and it not going, of a more stylistic like approach to wherever they feel like them doing that. But I've seen a lot of artists doing that scene. And then yeah, so escapes. She's like, oh, help Batman, because if the coppers gets to him, he's gonna be shot dead like always. Killer Croc is not somebody you should like really ask them to stop and come. I'm gonna put the cuffs down and we're gonna go walking our merry ways. So that happens. And yeah, and you have this bad guy who has this slew of coppers or tactical urban combat officers who's basically gonna deal with all the superhero stuff. Apparently, not your mere copper is gonna deal with it. So they say they will call them, instead of them doing dealing situations in the streets in Gotham, um, and all AI. Um, what is his name now? What is his name?
Alfred.
Alfred. Yeah. Oh my God, what's
Yeah.
wrong with me? So AI, because
AI
I
Alfred,
say
really?
yeah, AI Alfred. So it's apparently in continuation, Alfred is still dead, and it's the only way he is like present with Batman, and he's like having this like conversation between two, and he's like, oh, how I miss you as being human, rather. And then it's just basically sorting out the situation. There's this new crazed kids around in Gotham. Like they are completely obsessed and they want to chase everybody, cut them up with scissors. Apparently, not sure how much that we're gonna get involved in the series. And really, nothing else to say. Of course, Batman does the job. He does
Hmm.
whatever he needs to do. Killer Croc comes into he finds the Killer Croc first. I'm not blown away by it, to be honest. I
Yeah.
like the art. This is the way Killer Croc looks. Looks a little bit
Yeah,
crazed,
that's pretty cool.
but I like the butterflies. So they have this like second feels to them, like what are you doing to us? Like are you trying to make it pretty but scary in the same time? But I like emotions, like kids' emotions. This really interpreted really well in this stuff. I'm not sure. A lot of people saying, well, because they do the event, they made the blind bags with special covers, like 150 covers for this Batman
Yeah,
number
yeah,
one, of
the
course.
usual, yeah.
Or all because they put in a piece of plastic, they're gonna charge you $10 for it, right? Because you
Hmm.
can't see the cover, so it's extra special. Just pay double the price of the money of the number one comic, so to get this exclusive cover, because it's still doing that. Like it's true though. Some of if that cover exclusive cover gets really popular, yes, it's gonna rake you quite a few bucks, to be honest. But that's like what chance of 10, 1 in 10 you get that
Hmm.
comic, that cover completely goes out of socks for people. But yeah, it's another thing but DC comic books doing. But I'm always curious to see where they're gonna go. a lots of like technologies, like what Batman is putting these gloves and it's like strikes electricity. So it's kind of like boxing kind of style of the bad gauntlets, as they call them.
Hmm.
Electrocharged personnel nullifiers.
Crazy.
250 milliwatts charge. Is that what it is? I don't know how to say it.
Hmm.
Electricity stuff, even though I'm kind of curious about electricity. So yeah, it's kind of intriguing what it is. But yeah, he calms him down not only with electricity but with his words because he's so good at it. Batman is.
Such a mashup of like styles and colors because the
Yeah,
previous page looked very much like a Mignola,
yeah,
and then this next page that looks very much Kelly Jones with the colors, especially
yeah.
the coloring seems to be changing a lot in comics, which is kind of cool. Like feels like there's lots of purples and pinks in this when you've been showing pages.
It's a lot of color in here, to be honest.
Yeah.
He had this conversation with the child. Oh no, who is he talking to? Um, ah, oh, yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, there's the thing. Those like what he's Dan Allison is talking about people buying the comic books, and why they buy one in 75, one in 100. Those are the
Oh,
ones
right.
who
Yeah.
want to rake your
Okay.
money, right? Um,
Great.
so there's this yeah, dinosaur stuff. It's like, oh, I used to have dinosaur in my like layers. So I don't know if he does that. So I don't know where this Batman stands, right? The absolute Batman, he's completely poor. Whatever he uses his wit, his armors, his big physique to fight things in absolute as
Oh,
far as
right. 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 Right.
where
That's
it
that
gets.
series with that weird bold logo or something, right? That.
That
Yeah.
logo
Yeah.
becomes a axe, right? He uses
Right.
that as a
That's
gun,
right.
right?
Yeah.
And this one, he's looks like a Batman we all know. Seems to be having flashy cars and stuff, but it's like he used to have it. And the way it ends, okay, spoiler alert for people, but it's a Batman number one, probably. I don't know. I'm gonna be in trouble. Sorry, you're gonna get in trouble, Terrence, because but it ends like that. Robin is getting arrested. Why he's getting arrested for, and the way he looks very much like not um, his son Damien. He looks like more
Hmm.
than previous Robins because of the way he looks, the uniform, the color scheme as well looks like old school Robin once again. So I don't know
Yeah.
where Matt Fraction wants to take Batman, but this is how it ended. So spoiler alert to people. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, and this almost like all this zooming around, and he still have a cave. Like, look, the cave is still there, but he has this very special moment. Like, oh, my trophy cabinet. I used to have some, but now I don't. So he puts this toy dinosaur, in his trophy room, kind of thing. Because the
Yeah. The
spectacular,
giant one.
yeah, everything in giant
Adding the
coin,
giant coin and all that
yeah, the
stuff. Yeah.
penny or the Joker's card, which is in giant normal size and stuff
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So yeah, it's interesting. So I'm not sure
Trophy.
where, because he's saying that he's living in Pennyworth Manor. So he is Pennyworth is the rich guy, and he's given the money to Betty. So I don't know what's going on in this storyline. That's the only intrigue I could kind of grasp upon. Would be maybe interesting, but honestly, like for Batman number one, like always, it's you have to wait until it grows, right? Issue
Yeah.
one usually doesn't say much at all. It's
No.
what happens afterwards. So yeah, that's my
Yeah.
curiosity of Batman number one.
Curiosity peaked.
Hmm.
So won't bury the lead anymore. Fucking Supergirl.
Oh, you're doing that.
Um, Holy shit, man. So Tom King, Bill Casevely,
Hmm.
Matthias Lopez. So from Helen of Windhorn,
Yeah, yeah.
which I was a huge fan of, easily one of the best reads of the year for me. This is right up there now as well too. So the thing I'll say about this, so it's how many issues? It's
Should
an
be.
8-issue miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
It does take about like 3 issues, 2, 3 issues. Like they're good first issues, but it does take a little bit up to kind of pick up. But
Oh.
once you hit kind of, I'll just show you some random pages. Once you kind of hit issue 4, issue 5, holy shit, it spikes in an enormous way. And there's probably right in the middle. I think it's either 4, 5, and 6, or
Mm-hmm.
5, 6, and no, it's 4, 5, and 6. Unbelievable issues. Unbelievable story. Like this really really got to me by the end of it. It's an amazing story. So the basic gist is there we're introduced to this little girl named Ruth, and her father is a rock farmer, and he gets page one, literally no spoilers, page one,
Mm.
he gets killed by a guy, and for
Oh
some
boy.
reason the guy left his sword in her father. So she kind of takes it up of like, well, that's it, I've obviously got to go and get some revenge. And that's literally page one, two, and three, you know. So that's the very start of it. So she goes and tries to hire some assassins and things. Her mother lets her go. um,
Mm.
Tells her to take her father's steed, and watch out, he bucks, and you just go and do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes to try to hire some people, and it doesn't maybe go as smoothly as she thought it would. And then, of course, Supergirl comes in and saves the day, who's off world drinking and getting shit faced because it's her birthday, and kind of like it was in the end of that Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing for me for these first few issues, as good as they were, the art really
Mm.
just carried me through. It's an amazing art style. I'm a
Mm.
huge fan of
I'm too.
Evely right now, Bilkis Evely.
Mm-hmm.
This is beautiful stuff, and I just want more. Um, I mean, I can't really tell you much more without getting into kind of spoiler world, which I don't even want to get
Mm.
into because it just unfolds so nicely. The story unfolds so nicely. We get to see about Supergirl's past, which for me, I don't know Supergirl's origin story, so I don't know how true to the origin story it was in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it's pretty close to, if not bang on with it,
Mm-hmm.
because this is, yeah, DC proper. This isn't like Black Label or anything like that. So I imagine the origin story that she tells in here is the same, and it's a heartbreaker. Just really good overall, and I thought the ending was incredibly solid. um,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of, for me, it was this perfect mix of, did I read that right? Is that what the ending is? Do I like
Mm-hmm.
that ending? Do I love that ending?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit leaves things up in the air, which I'm a fan of. I really like that. It's not like, to me, in my reading of it, it wasn't kind of a cut and paste. Here's the beginning, here's the middle, and then here's a very satisfying, exactly what you, it leaves it. Yeah, it's just an interesting ending, let's just say that. And then there's some sketches at the back too. So honestly, thanks to everybody who recommended this, yourself included, Russ. I think you're the one who told me about this, as well as people in the chats. But like, this is unfucking believable, and I never thought I'd be sitting and reading a Supergirl book. I never thought, and let alone a Superman story.
Mm-hmm.
Discovered Emily's art through the dreaming and wasn't necessarily blown away, but her art in Helen was so good. I'm not going to have to get this, even though I've never read a Supergirl before. Yeah, then you're in the same boat as me, Dan. I've never read a Supergirl before either. So I would say this is a pretty high bar to set because it was so goddamn good. So good.
So does that make you want to go and read Supergirl now from
It
Eva
doesn't,
Greatest?
because when I was blown away by like the Superman stories that I read,
Mm-hmm.
I went and dipped into those, and they're just not interesting to me, right? Like, I think these people capture something
Mm-hmm.
about those characters because they're DC characters, they're superheroes. I'm
Yeah.
not naturally drawn towards that stuff. I think what makes Supergirl and Superman so interesting is that they just do good. They just do good because they're good people and they recognize their kind of powers and all these things. So I think when creators tap into that, like All Star Superman was great.
Mm-hmm.
This one, same kind of thing. It's sort of that idea of, she has these powers. There's a couple of really good passages. Well, there's one specifically. The Ruth is kind of the one that's or Ruthie is kind of the one that's writing this book about their adventure together and about this revenge thing. So that's the narration through it, and she just tells the story of like, Supergirl had untold powers. Forget about speeding bullets and leaping over buildings. She would stop her power so she could walk side by side with you down the beach or something. Like, it's this beautiful passage of like the things that she's doing to kind of restrict her enormous powers, just to kind of slow down and be a part of a situation with her and go
Mm-hmm.
on this adventure with her. It's so fucking touching It's disgusting. It's really, really well done.
Hmm.
So I think that's the stuff that people who know the characters, they tap into so well.
Oh, look, it's red as
Very,
well.
very, very little Superman. We got that new one, the Kryptonite Spectrum. Yeah, it was pretty great issue 1. Yeah, you just missed it. We talked about that off the first one that I talked about, and I
Hmm.
really loved it as well too.
It's a funny thing. So, when you said that you really liked this, I was looking to see if my library has it. My library doesn't have it, so
Yep.
that's a little bit thing. It doesn't stop me to reading digital. That's another
Yeah,
thing,
for
which
sure.
for sure it can do. But then,
This would probably look gorgeous digitally too.
yeah, um, I trust Bill Quiz Everly throughout because I know how much art of Helen Winhorn I liked. Not necessarily Tom King's writing is my favorite.
Yeah, yeah.
You clearly know. And the only thing what it is it has the same scenarios what Tom King does. He's writing in narration. Is comic
Hmm.
all comic books. Somebody is describing situation where the person is. Most like female characters are having to be like tipsy turvy and having some issues or whatever superpowers or whatever that stuff. And honestly, I'm curious. I honestly, but the art would be drawn because I think the Bilkis Evely needs to do like I could see her art being part of like Lord of the Rings or the fantasy
Right.
stuff, like high fantasy, because it just so looks dreamy. Like it's such a unlike situation where you could place yourself, right? It's such a fantasy thing of way, and the way she represents her art, it looks like a dreamlike state, right, at all times
Yeah.
because everything looks just so pretty, like imagine her drawing the elves and all those, like situations and even the grisly parts, right, of Lord of the Rings. And I love to see her doing that more. And I think her
Hmm.
fame started from that dreaming, like you said, Nelson, because she was doing some of the Sandman's universe first. And I think her name just brought up and everybody started to realize how good this artist is. And it seems to be
Yeah.
Tom King worked with her once and wants to do more. And I think I don't know if it's this. Do you think? Yeah, this one came out first when Helen, right?
That's right. Yeah, this one was before Helena Winhorn. Yeah, this was before it.
Because I could see, like, those castles you just showed me, the castle or one of
Yep.
the pages. It just looks
Yep.
like almost this, like, oh my god, it's like Helena Winhorn, right?
Totally.
So
Yeah.
it's just a fancy part of the Bilquis Evely. I mean, such a superstar of an artist, and it's really
This was
cool to see.
2021 and
Mm-hmm.
2022 is when these issues came
Mm-hmm.
out.
I looked at the reviews. Funny enough, not people are like reviewing like 4 stars. Giving 4.5. Like out of 5.
Out of 5. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I think that's what it is with Tom King. Not everything clicks with him, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Well, and then if you think about him and his
Yeah,
past and things like that, does color the stuff that you're reading. I mean, it got circled in my book as one of the best reads of the year for sure. So
yeah.
it'll be
No,
up there.
I honestly gonna be curious to see. I looked it up. I couldn't see like funny enough, I couldn't see like a trade paperback like America. Only the America it was off on of. Oh, in here we have like hardcover versions now. But apparently they
Mm,
go.
dude,
So the
hardcover version would
hardcover
be
is
really
probably
nice.
great, but it's
Yeah.
extra priced wise. Like the trade is
Yep.
usually. I don't know how much did you manage? Did you get it on sale, or did you
No,
pay?
it was brand new. I've been waiting.
Oh,
I've been looking at
oh, okay.
Galaxy for a while. So this was 25.99 Canadian, so
Awesome.
$26,
So
which
yeah,
I
it's
gladly.
for trade is not bad price whatsoever, isn't it these days?
Yeah. Well,
But
and especially those single issues. When I saw issue number 1, I think I saw issue number 1. It was like $30 or something just for that
yeah,
issue.
I was
So
looking as well because I do like
yeah,
to see because knowing the artist, it would be great to see it without having the spoilers of a gutter loss, right? Because trade unfortunately have the gutter loss. They never do it. Like
yeah,
we don't like.
you
Funny
always
enough,
miss something.
yeah, I was like thinking, why you never print it like with an extra line, right?
Yes,
So a
right,
white line out, so that's where the glue will go. But
right, right. But I mean,
this,
this one you can kind of open it pretty good though. But yes, you're not wrong about that for sure.
have you
Yeah,
actually
there's that.
tried?
There's that castle again. Yeah.
I was
What's
doing an
that?
experiment on sale trade to see how far can I take the spine to open up to
Mhm.
see all the crevices of the page, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see it. There's some pages. Okay, her pages are like that,
And
designed
then you
to
can
make
you
it.
can
Yeah,
still open it pretty good there. Hey, so they do have a tiny, but yeah, you're
yeah.
right. leaving a little bit extra, but then I
Yeah,
guess that shrinks the art a little too much, maybe,
yeah,
and then
maybe.
it looks funny on
I
the
don't know
page
how
because
that
now your top and bottoms are
yeah,
gonna
I
be
don't know
worse.
how
But
the
yeah,
printing processes work. But anyway, I tried to do it. I went for that spine, right? So I cracked
mm,
it, almost did it the same as you do for the hardcover, right? Crack
yep.
that one, crack this one, kind of relaxed a little bit. So I started reading it. The spine broke on me halfway through. I was reading it.
Oh
It
no,
yeah. So but I was doing that on purpose by buying a
yep.
cheap tray to see how far it will take, and it doesn't take
Push it
far
to its
away.
limits.
Yeah, yeah. Because the glue, at the end of the tension of the glue, how long does the glue can hold while you like racking the pages together.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's kind of intriguing. But yeah, it's funny that I couldn't find trades like because I typed in Google, right, to see if there
Yep.
which one sells, and the first thing comes out, or is in America, or it is hardcover, which is kind of like
Hmm.
what, so weird. And of course, the website I usually like is sold out. It's been sold out for a while apparently as well. That because I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
the
I'm
book.
assuming our shop brought it in because of the Superman movie is what my guess is. But they only brought in one copy that I saw anyway, unless they
Oh,
had some more in the back or something. But
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, I'm assuming they brought it in because of the movie.
Uh-huh. Cool. My turn, right?
Yep.
So I got some salmon twitch,
Hey, yep.
much more expensive salmon twitch now, which is sours a little bit me. I really wish comic books will stop with the price tags, but they are not. They're going for it, right? All the comic books now 3.99 is the. Ooh, are you sure you want to charge this much? It's really well produced comic book, like always, very hard stock cover. So there's more. I think it's coming to right at the end. I think I still need one more issue. It's extremely long. This next storyline is very stretched out. It's finally kind of gives you a revelation of what really happened. Who was these people who experiment with humans implementing chips inside? The last issue we thought our Sam was gonna be knifed, but the guy somehow who is the one like snitching upon the situation, he's the one who's actually helping him. I thought the one who knifed him helped him. I'm not sure if that kind of like writing was an issue or maybe I was forgetting something, but I clearly remember that he got knifed and he's like, oh my god, is he gonna be dying? But now finally they giving us more details to understand this experiment, and apparently pharmaceuticals is for sure is to blame for this. You die, you get resurrected, you go crazy for a couple of like days and you die again situations, like the drugs they being. And also in the forefront you have the story of Twitch, who is killed one of those guys, and he's completely been um, used by the system, saying that being as an example and about to probably lose ability to be a copper again. But of course, there's also a side to it. Another interesting part or twist maybe to the story is that his wife got employed by the same company they're investigating, and I think that's how they're trying to basically use the family members to the bad guys' advantages. Like how to kind of like put extra pressure towards that and stuff like that. So it's kind of intriguing. Um, and this is the issue of that, and then of course I haven't second one, so I bet say because I kind of it comes out when I receive my comic books once a month, so sometimes this comes out the right at the end of the month, so sometimes I miss out. So but it's also good to have two issues in the same time when it does pan out. And then the more unraveling of the situation, honestly, kind of I'm over the story already. I kind of want to know
Mm.
exactly what's happening. I want more. Kind of was really excited because I saw Spawn, and Spawn will probably take a look in it. What is role in this? I don't know if it is at all, or it's just like to give you a little bit more excited as a reader of this series. I'm on Twitch because they are sharing the same universe. But I honestly kind of like, come on, how many issues do you have to tell a storyline? And they not really give you much, to be honest.
Hmm.
This past two, like 16 and 17 issues, are really the ones who basically, yes, it tells you, like, right, So this is pharmaceutical. This is the chick who apparently was saved by Twitch, but she's the one actually behind him to get his wife employed. So they have an extra for him. Then you realize another thing which has got me confused. Apparently, there's a double of Twitch. So who is he? Why is he? What kind of like? So they are having too many ideas, and they're trying to put that in pages, and they're using a lot of issues to compound the story, but they're not giving you enough, and then they try to like bombard you with information right at the end of the, I guess, storyline, right? So they have a plan how long will the issues will be and stuff like that. So is great, like I used to say, it was great because it was so cheap, so I couldn't really resist on having something so cheap in my pull list. Now that the price is increased, I am definitely thinking I'm gonna probably dump this now from my pull list and look for something else, because of I like the characters, true. I like the story, the way they have the story and universe, true. But if they continuously gravitating towards pulling and elevating the story to this extent, it doesn't read really great in the singles. It reads really well,
Yeah,
probably in trade paperback, and
yeah, yeah.
that's not good for the like single issue reading. It's just it doesn't give you enough to say, oh my god, I want to know. Now in this issue, which is and probably the cover of the next issue, which is basically where they're heading, and all the story will probably come to the conclusion, fingers crossed, right? But it took them like almost what, 10, 11, 12 issues, I don't remember, maybe even more, to get to this section, and that's basically really annoyed the heck out of me, as you
Hmm.
can clearly hear it. So I'm not trying to be overly dramatic about it, but I was loving it when the story was 6 issues long. It's fine. In six
Hmm.
in single format, 6 issue story is good. Okay, you can kind of let it go loose and try to explain. But when it goes to more than 6 issues and you still kind of just tease, and there's nothing like for you to like, oh, I'm getting like, like there's a panel where they show you who is the bad guy, kind of like in the shade kind of thing. It didn't give you that much, so
Hmm. Hmm.
quite disappointing
Yeah,
in a sense.
bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were a fan of that one in a big way early on.
Yeah, because that other story was 6 issue long, I think, if I recall properly.
Hmm.
Because that was that serial killer, like the body parts and everything, and I can recall clearly, and everything was kind of going in a nice pace with giving you some sort of crumb for you to follow. Whereas this one just drags. It's like I
Giving you
heard this.
nothing.
I know there's a murder. I know who's the victims, right?
Yeah.
I already know it. I just need to know why, right? And they're
Hmm.
not giving you that, and you're like, come on, I don't know that. So just give it to me. You're
Yeah.
not giving me any extras. You're not telling me like just because you took the wife away from him, right? Which they already having no problems, marital problems, because the guy is not out of work. They depending on his paycheck. Now she's has to go to work because the paycheck doesn't come anymore. So she
Hmm.
gets this corporate job, which pays really well, but because some nefarious people are coming after, right, to close the gap, so they can't disclose information, they can't find a solution to this murder. But that's it, and it's like, okay, go on, do it. But nope. Each issue I read is not giving me that, so I'm getting a little bit
Right.
more frustrated when I should
Yeah,
reading the
no, for
story.
sure.
And I think I would never be that frustrated if I read it in trade, because the story will be go from A to end. And I was like, okay, by the end I'll have a conclusion in my own brain, did I like it or not. I will pick up a new bad idea comics. Oh.
Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't I picked
No,
up one
Lappa?
bad idea comic recently because there was a stockpile of them. And I never read it. I
Like
was never a
Lapham.
fan of the whole bad idea of the company to begin with, but
Yeah.
yeah, newsprint, the hero trade, Kint. That's cool.
Because Kint and Lapham, I know those writers there.
Yeah.
Kint is great. Lapham is absolutely
Reprinted
fantastic.
backups from the first round of bad idea stuff, all short 8 pagers and super fun. Okay, that's good to know.
Oh.
I'll keep an eye out for it
So
then.
it's like
Maybe have a
a
look.
trade paperback?
Yeah, that's what
Or
he was saying. Yeah, for
oh,
twelve
okay.
ninety nine on newsprint,
Oh,
which is kind of exciting.
yeah, I like that. There are several companies who try to do that as well. And
Yeah,
it didn't last very long, did it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because we don't talk about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh
Did
yeah,
you get did you
yeah,
get
yeah,
it?
yeah. Your cover is different again. Oh, my cover is different as well.
Yeah,
Is your
because I always get the Kevin Eastman cover.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm getting the Ferrera ones.
Oh yeah. Hold that closer. Let's see. Hold on, let me make you bigger. Oh yeah, right. Yes, I like that cover too though. It was
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah. So
So one more issue of this, hey, issue 11.
yes,
So I guess before we get to kind of like the
the
all of
gist of
that
it.
stuff, what
Yeah.
did you think? What did you think about the start of it? Like how it left off issue 10,
Hmm.
translating? Because I mean, I think both of us were like, what the hell is going to happen? As they're sitting there at the defense, trying to
Yeah.
plead some sort of case. What did you think of that? The way they handled that?
Oh, it looked okay. I
Yeah,
realized something has to. I didn't. Okay, first of all, I didn't know that it's going to end in 12 for the Jason Aaron run of
yep,
Turtles. That's how they call it now. Before
yep.
it's the beginning of this great writer coming in. Now it's the end of it already by 12 issue, which is kind of very disappointing in my
Sucks. Yeah,
books.
totally.
Um, I wasn't expecting to be so fast, right? But now knowing that there's an end to the runs, of course, it's going to be fast. So there's lots
Hmm.
of information dumped straight at it. The way they made it, it makes absolute sense. I mean, in the way you would expect the bad guy would have some sort of because when the issue 10 ended, Turtles
Yep.
were in so much shit. You thought, okay, this is it. They're gonna be dumped in a. I really like that page.
In a
I really like
prison.
this
Yeah,
creature. Yeah. So
yeah. The art is so good.
I thought they were gonna end up being somewhere, or they, I honestly kind of felt like, how are you gonna have this medieval standing in New York Square? They will
Yeah,
have the hanging thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
All four of them gonna be laid in there. He's gonna be like a king, right, of New York, and they're gonna be like basically executed or chopped the head off or whatever. That kind of like medieval style of it, because the way he's talking, the Hale guy, right, our bad
yep.
guy, a mayor who's it's like he's looking for justice. I mean, what justice? But because what? You were I think he's looking for justice because he was bullied, right? At the beginning of his life.
It's the classic. It's classic story of because
Yeah,
there was
he
that one
had the
issue he was going
problem.
back to like his family life and that sort of thing. So
Yeah, and that he's the one who had basically problems with his mental state, and the only way
yeah,
he would feel that is has a reward for his all this trouble he has been through his life is that to completely take over, become a king of the castle, right?
and destroy the mutants.
And the mutants were the problem for him because
Yep.
I think what mutants got involved in murdering his parents, or he was just an idea of mutants because I don't.
I think so. I honestly don't really remember, to
Yeah,
be
I don't recall
totally honest
the
with
the
you.
parents' death because I thought that he killed his own parents. That's what I thought.
I thought that that's what it was too. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I'd have to go back and look again. So I guess basically, so all the people rise up and they come in and they become the people that testify on behalf of the Turtles and go, no, actually, it was Hale and his goons and the Foot Clan. They were the ones that were the
yeah.
evil ones, and the mutants are fantastic. And but then it's pages like this,
Oh, I love it.
like it's just so good on this side here.
Yeah,
I love it. His art is so good. So Juan Ferreira,
yeah.
Ferreria, rather, I guess,
Mm,
is so freaking good. So, I
mm.
mean, the rest of the issue kind of turns into sort of a big fight scene, right? Which is pretty
Yeah,
fun. We get
and
April back.
April.
Yeah.
Yeah, April is back now. Shredder's mentioned. I really thought that Shredder will be going to give us something like the Jason Aaron is going to do something with Shredder stuff, and or
Uh-huh.
he's going to give us Splinter's information because of the dead rabbit, dead rat, right? And I thought
Yep.
this is where we're going to go, and somehow it's going to get involved in that situation. But I think because it's ending, I think that idea has to be well forgotten, and the new
Yeah.
creators will probably maybe use this as a continuation, or will we start from number one again, which is most likely that's what will happen.
I mean, most likely it seems like that'll be the way, right?
Yeah,
This will be nothing and it'll get resolved and here's the moment, which is fine sometimes, but it's continues to be frustrating when that's what the whole thing is based off of. I'm totally fine with miniseries.
I like
Yeah,
this.
so got like, and this is where like his art
Hmm.
just absolutely shines in this. There's so many good moments,
Hmm.
facial expressions.
Yeah.
It's really really good. Just spoil it, just show the second page after that.
Oh, there's no. This is a very good scene, though. I really. This is
Yeah, it
very
is good.
much.
Yeah.
very much Law and Order for me. You know, like the steps they are having conversation after this great court scene and stuff like that, and then of course the guy. Okay, the spoiler alert page. Spoilers. We're gonna have some
Amazing.
crazy going on here. So he has a goat, dinosaur, a
Some
crab,
lobster. Yeah.
lob. What is those tentacles? Is that like
I don't know
a
if it's like a lion's leg or something, or some sort
yeah?
of lizard, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
Amazing. So amazing.
yeah. So he's gonna be that kind of. This is the what Kitsune can do. That's the thing. The Shredder's what she cousin? No way. She's a niece, or I think, or yeah, she has to be a niece, right? Kitsune, the bad
I
guy,
guess so. Yeah.
because she's related to him, right? So or maybe a granddaughter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So. Mhm.
TMNT Archie series, but aside from a few Mirage issues, I've never picked up any since. Yeah, and I mean, I'm sort of not quite in the same boat, but I mean,
Mhm.
I'm really getting back into the older stuff, and I'm absolutely loving the older stuff.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, Rasa, I
I
think, is the one that's way more versed in the newer stuff than I am for sure.
I read all this IW run. I started from the issue 30 when they start picking up in single format, and
Yeah,
I finished in 150, and that run honestly because it had Eastman and Laird for a very long time, and Sophie Campbell actually was from the get go there. I didn't realize when I checked the issue 30, the names of the creators. I thought Sophie just jumped in kind of in the middle of it, but no, apparently she was like from almost get go. So she done a hell of a lot of work when she was doing the turtle run. So and that run
hmm
spam to 150, and it was very popular. I mean, to go 150 issues is not something that happens these days. And I don't know if IW actually has legs, money, or attention spam to get
yeah,
turtles to go back to that kind of run. But that's the problem. It's not original creators anymore.
yeah.
Like they have Jason Aaron supposed to be the huge name, which will have excited a lot of people, which I was excited as a just a turtle fan, which
Me as
is
well. Yeah,
my permanent kind of almost get good to go comic book to have on my pull list without doubt. Now I'm doubting already because I'm not sure what the new creators is all about. I have not heard of them at all. I don't really know what
hmm
IW is actually thinking because I thought turtles is a
Well,
kind
and
of
what it's going to be and how good it's going to be. Because I mean, this one had its moments at first. Like I dropped it early on, and then you can,
yeah.
by hearing you talk about it, it sounded like it was better. And honestly, just to address what Dan's saying, I
Mm,
don't know if this is really a good place to jump in because it's just 12 issues and it
yeah.
doesn't really have a before, and we
Just
don't
wait
know if
until the
it's going to
trade.
have an after. So yeah,
For curiosity reasons, I would pick up a trade of these if you do want it just to
yeah,
have a sense, but I wouldn't recommend this one, to be honest. I would
yeah,
recommend you to go to the original, that new IW run it was going. It has shitloads of hardcovers. Yes, it's kind of intimidating. It's quite a lot of issues to go into, but there's a lot of great stuff in there. And the way they
hmm
started, they also went into almost to a T to what they were doing beforehand with a bit of more oomph, right? The difference to appeal to the audience in that time and era. And they were really popular. And honestly, they have so many great stories in there. And of course, Splinter's demise and stuff like that, that came from
yeah,
that run originally. And then how they dealt with that. They introduced a new turtle, the female turtle, which she doesn't anymore, appearing anymore in this turtle for sure. Maybe they had maybe planned before, but now I don't know how. That's the thing. I don't know really the plan of IW anymore because I
hmm
know they're financially struggling. That's the only thing I heard a lot. We've been doing a lot of stuff like like Star Trek. Now we're doing lots of there's a line of a things like Sonic the Hedgehog apparently actually making the money for them since
yeah.
the
Well,
movie.
that's the stuff that's going to make the money. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
then the Star Trek universes, then they were doing Godzilla's, but the Godzilla is gone now from they because somebody else took over, like Marvel and all that stuff. And and I thought the Turtles work for them, for IWS, would be Batman for DC Universe. I thought they wouldn't be
hmm
touched, right? But I don't know. Are they not satisfied, or the creators are not satisfied with the things?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Dan says thanks for the advice, and he has
yeah.
to correct himself. He actually picked up Last Ronin when it came out. Last Ronin was a pretty damn good read, and I would second
There's,
this. Getting all the Mirage stuff is
yeah,
absolutely something that's on my list. I
yeah.
found actually a copy of Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the
Mm,
one issue I was missing, so I'm going to pick
yeah.
that up tonight actually
They
for my son.
have they were reprinting they are reprinting those, but there's missing issues because of the
Yeah, right.
licensing.
Yeah, I want to get all the issues, the actual singles of
Yeah,
that
so
stuff. Like as much as
issues.
I love that hardcover trade that I've got,
Yeah,
it's fantastic. But nothing beats getting those
yeah.
actual issues, and just holding that in your hands is so great.
The new IDW run with hardcovers looks fantastic. It's printed
Hmm.
really well. The it seems to be the hardcover productions of those are fantastic. They look spectacular on the bookshelves. They have all the katana signs on the spine. So when you put it on
Hmm.
the shelf, it just stands out right away, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, some of it are out of stock because it's like what supposed to be like 17, 18, or 20 even produce hardcovers, and they
Oh well.
haven't been printed in order because, like we say, like you're mentioning, IDW is having money issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to go with Mirage in singles for sure, not reprinted because of the licensing issues. You're definitely not going to get all of the run,
Hmm.
and then go for that newest run if you that much into turtles afterwards, because I don't know, it's the same for me. I would say for lots of people, like when they get into Usagi, they can't stop and they want to continue having that. I think turtles is kind of in similar fashion. If you start liking Teenage Turtles, you go in that
Hmm.
vein, you start looking for a lot of stories, and they have trades as well, don't forget though. But
Yeah.
hardcovers looks the most spectacularly dressed kind of thing you want to have on the shelf, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So yeah.
They look damn good. What do you got next?
Oh, so I sold my um seasons already. I'm trying to put oh, thank you. I was wanted to speak. So I'm starting to sell my some of the books. I am finding it difficult to keep all the stuff in one place,
Yeah.
especially like things like recommended stuff. Of what like I was wondering if I would actually sell it, but I sold it quite quickly, which is fun enough. I didn't get much out of. I don't. I'm not that person. I want to sell my comic books. I'm trying to be reasonable price wise, so it's decent enough. Come back to me and decent enough for people to basically get as a thing, so I can actually sell it and get. So I decided to get this recommended book, Escape.
Nice.
Um,
I
and
forgot that came out actually.
yeah, I mentioned to you several times. Did you pick it
Yeah.
up? Because I dropped seasons, so I decided to pick this up because I knew this is
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
out, and I definitely don't want to have too many of recommended books in my pool because it just doesn't work anymore. It used to work for me to have like a lot, but now it seems to be it's enough of one creator to have something that really works for you, and then enough for to basically explore to other creators, give other creators a chance, right. So but
Hmm.
this one is recommended, and Daniel Acuna, and oh my god, I like Daniel Acuna. I'm not it says painted, but I'm not sure if it is paint. It looks very much like digital art to me. Recommend saying it's painted covers. I hope it is. All of the stuff is painted and not digital, but the way it presents. But it's a story of a pilot in at war. And they, of course, there's factions which are feuding between, and we having a perspective of this pilot and his kind of like it's called escape because he's in big trouble. So there's a group of pilots in this old school planes. It's like almost I think they're trying to represent like the world wars eras, the planes. And I don't know if it's World War One. I'm not really knowing on that sense, but they are
Hmm.
a group of pilots in that plane basically going to do the job, bombard the opposition. And while they're doing that, this conversation happens between all of them, like what's right or what's not, why we're doing this, who we're fighting, will we come back in, that situation, in that. And a lot of characters in there, but none of them survives. The only one survives is the main pilot of there, who is basically the one basically telling the story in a way. I don't know, think it's narrating. It's just, like, it kind of describes his dealings, right? and lots of action, a lots of bombardment, um, a lot of situations where they decide what do they want to do. They have kind of planned what they were given the plan, but it seems to be they have made a decision to nuke the area because they've been shot at, right, and they're losing the engines, and that's what they do. And they, it's actually quite interesting what the nukes have, the names of them, like all the clever stuff. So they completely annihilate the places. They decide to do that because they are in trouble. They're about to crash, and in order to not just basically die in vain, they decide to bombard the area. I don't know. I don't think they do it really good job because they apparently gets to kill a lot of like babies and like all the non soldier personnel gets in
Right.
trouble and dies. And there's this creatures who they're fighting. I think they're bats, and the bats are bad guys, and other like bears as what do you call it? Anthropomorphic
Oh yeah,
storytelling.
anthropomorphic. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anthropomorphic storytelling. And so he's the one. He's going to be our main character. Nothing too else to say apart of that he's about to crash. There's lots of great scenes in here. All of them are dying. You can see all of the dice. Huge explosion happens, and guess what? He thinks like they have three survivors, but by the time he jumps out, only one survives, and he crashes in the pit of where he basically they just bombarded the couple of seconds ago, and he is there to what survive, escape because they're after him. Another thing, like I don't know, I'm a bit niggly maybe in storytelling. They mention him by pilot. How do they know it's a pilot who survived? Because
Hmm.
I mean, not the guy who is like, I presume all the ranks of the officers in the plane has a different name on it, right? You have the guy who shoots, you have the guy who is like second in command, you have a pilot who's in charge of flying the plane, and then blah blah blah. But they specifically mentioned, oh, we're looking for this pilot and he's going to pay for it, what he done to us, kind of thing, the way it ended the comic book. So I'm not sure, maybe I'm just nitpicking the storytelling the way it happens.
Hmm.
And why Rick Remender is telling the story, apparently his grandfather had been in World War, and he's telling you that at the end of it is actually telling you how this story came to be. And he said my family's history of my father's side has been a bit of a mystery, and my dad never got along with his father, leaving home at 13 and speaking to of my grandfather afterwards. In 1930s, selling rides, living free over the skies of Nebraska, and later serving in World War II. But beyond that, I didn't know about of my grandfather, and that's basically what inspired him to tell the story. And when he spoke to Daniel Acuña's family from Spain, and his grandfather's also partaken in some sort of similar war situations, and that's why they decided to do this. It's like as like I know that Rick Remender has written Captain America, and apparently he has really good praises when it comes to Captain America run. So he's kind of know of the era of the wars and stuff situations. I'm just saying, kind of like putting in comparison, but not my favorite subject to read first of all, because we have been talks about that kind of stuff now for quite some time, right? But I was intrigued because of course the characters they chose to have part of it, and where Recommender can take the story, you never know. That's what intrigued me first and foremost. I will definitely see, like with seasons, it took me 6 issues to know I'm done with single format. I can go
Hmm.
in the format in different format, but let's see how far I will take this. I like the art a lot. I mean, it's very explosive. It's a clever way of using the page and art for your own advantage. It seems to be Acuna knows how to put the panels very busy, but without much of like etching and working the buildings because of the situations we're in, like bombed cities, and now you only have like rubbles and nothing left of it. And the way he's using his art and the way colors are represented is really well done when it comes to that. So far, the storyline that hasn't like completely make me go mad about it, but there's a
You
track
think
walk up.
you'll keep going with it?
Huh?
Do you think you'll keep going with it?
I will try. It seems to be.
Yeah.
I want, like it's quite like, you can go, I don't know which way he's going to take this character. You can kill the character straight away, right? Easy. Because he's
Hmm.
in the pit of lions, right? You dump the meat in the middle of the pit of lions, and that's where you escape, right? So you
Hmm.
could do that with this, because it seems to be he's about to be found. Where do you hide? How do you run? Because it says, kind of like, it hints while he's writing the extras in the back. It hints like there's human element to this story, where
Mm-hmm.
it depends on situations where you're in, who you can talk to, and how you can use that as an opportunity for you to do something, right? So he's mentioning, kind of giving you some snippets on that. So I'm curious to see, because at the moment, nothing really. You have situations where a pilot basically in a biggest pickle of his life, right? But he made a decision also with the crew while in the air to do that bombardment, which is not something I think was according to the plan. And then somehow these people who they fighting already gonna be on the run for you, to look for you, to get you to basically pay the price. It's kind
Hmm.
of intriguing, but I don't know how far can you take the story, and where does he want to take the story.
Hmm.
That's what intriguing me, and I probably will try.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah. Who
extensive
knows? Yeah.
amount of pages. When you pay for the same price amount what you pay for your single issues, when it comes to recommender books, is from page, you just only have this, and
Yeah.
then you have uh, two
All the way to
pages
the back.
extra for the ads, which is what
Yeah.
we're talking about, and the next issue. But honestly, you have all the pages to read, so it pays to what like at the end of the day, you realize why you're spending the money for a single format. Whereas
Hmm.
some of them, you pay the same amount, you get 20 pages, and you're like saying, I don't understand this. One single issue told me exactly kind of where the character is. You made a decision. He has to pay it for consequences, right? Let's go for it from the story. Did it blow my socks off? Definitely didn't.
Right.
Am I intrigued? For second issue, for sure. I will check it out. But I'm not sure. That's the thing. I don't know where can you take the story, because you can take it anywhere. Like shoot the guy. That's it. End of the story. Two issue, two issue run will go greatly.
Done. Yeah. Yeah.
Done. Dusted. Let's go.
Yeah.
Move
Yeah.
on to another
See you
one.
later.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
But as I say, I real I write as the way it represents itself at the moment can be very espionage type, can be very James Bondy type in the at war, where you can hide,
Yeah.
you can disguise yourself. Hopefully, I don't know how can you disguise your from being a bear to the bat. That would be a question,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you know what I mean. So it's intriguing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Um, this afternoon, I dug into the second
Mhm.
volume of The Legend of Mother Sarah. This is City of the Children. So there's 3 books to this total.
Mhm.
This is the second volume. So I've got all 7 issues now because I filled in those gaps
Mhm.
from Lone Star.
Oh yeah, you had your unboxing video, didn't you?
That's right. Yeah. So these were some of the ones that I got. And just as good as volume 1 for sure. Starts off
Mhm.
beautifully with a little extra rendered style of this snowy landscape. So the last time we were in the desert, now we're
Mhm.
in this snowy landscape, and it's beautiful, beautiful art. So including, like, look at this.
Huh?
And me and my love of how artists portray the winter and snow is
Mhm.
always something that I appreciate. Look at this top panel. So right away, right off the hop, you're in there. So they give you a bit of that, and then it goes to kind of the kind of more standard manga style. This was such a good book. The whole thing was fantastic. I feel like the main character a little bit more.
Oh,
There
okay.
is a hell of a there's a hell of a in the final issue, which I won't tell you about.
Uh-huh.
There's a hell of a
Okay, that's
plot
good to
point that
hear.
comes back in issue number 7
Uh-huh.
that it was one of those put the book down and say out loud, "What the fuck?"
Uh-huh.
It genuinely shocked the shit out of me.
Okay.
Um, it was amazing. This is such a great book. So it's this mother. The Earth has kind of been destroyed. There's this Mother Earth group, this ME group that
Mm-hmm.
is going to kind of rescue the planet. And in this particular city that she goes to, so she got separated from her children. So she's on the hunt for her children. And that's why she's traveling to these places looking for them. So this is a city of children that are
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones that are in control, and they're set to punish the adults and treat the adults and blame everybody, even if you weren't directly associated with it,
Uh-huh.
because you're an adult and you had a say and you didn't do anything. We're going to punish you as well. So
Yeah.
again, I love some of these stories that are a little bit timeless, right? Like you do get a sense of that these days
Yeah.
sometimes with
Yeah. Yeah.
some of the environmental stuff.
Yeah. Consequences of decisions. Yeah.
It's just such a good book. The art is really just stunning. I'm intrigued. I read all 7 issues without stopping, kind of
Really.
back to back. So I'll just show you a little bit of issue number 2. So issue number 2, we get a bit of a flashback. This is a mostly silent issue, which
Mm-hmm.
also was incredible because it reads wonderfully. This is a bit of a flashback of when her ship crashed, and she's kind of trudging through the desert with her baby, and kind of the troubles that this group of people came across on their travels through the desert. Some people just dropped and died, and then the
Mm-hmm.
ones that made it finally to like the wooded area, these military, these militia kind of guys
Mm-hmm.
find them and then slaughter a bunch of them. So then it's pared down this group even more and more and more. So you really get the sense from this woman, and plus they don't pull any punches with the violence as well too. It's pretty graphic stuff. So you just kind of get a sense of where she's come from and a little bit more filling in those gaps, because we knew the broad strokes of some of this in the first volume, but this one, on that point of telling a story and how you unfold that information, this is great. It gives you that extra layer now. So we're familiar with how she kind of got to this point. So
Mm-hmm.
now it fills in the gaps here. So the ones that have survived, they just kind of keep going, and you see her just sweating, and they finally come across this city, which of course doesn't turn out to be very good. But I'll leave it kind of at that one. But that whole issue is silent except for kind of the last few pages,
Mm-hmm.
dude. Yeah, oh, it is such a good book. I feel like I've been really lucky and read some fantastic stuff today. I mean, look how amazing that
Mm-hmm.
face is. It's incredible looking at some of this stuff and seeing that it's just Zipatone and ink,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just the layers and the dimension. So I should say this is Takumi Nagayasu is the artist, and then
Mm.
Katsuhiro Otomo from Akira fame is the writer.
Okay,
Um,
that's why they look kind of the faces almost to Akira type, yeah, like the
yeah,
hairstyle and all that stuff. So how did you hear about this one first? Remind us.
I think I'd stumbled on an issue or two in the back issue bin, saw his name, saw Otomo's name on it,
Uh-huh.
and that was kind of the draw. And then 420, who was here before earlier,
Yeah.
he raved about it as well too. So that was kind of,
Tell me the name
you
again
know,
of this. Tell me the name.
I'm sorry, it's called Legend of Mother Sarah is what it's called. And then this is volume 2, City of the Children. And it's so worth it. It hasn't been easy to find the issues,
Just because of the name, all right?
but it is worth it.
Because
Sorry.
of the attached name of the creator, right?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure it is, yeah.
Okay.
But I had him on my wish list, and then 420 is a local as well too. He's from Winnipeg, and he was saying there's a comic shop in town that they have him on the top floor. That top floor is only open once a month,
Mm-hmm.
so I may go and see if I can get the third volume because I don't have any issues from volume 3. So I'm really at a point where I'd like to. I really want to finish that story off because that was incredible. The first series was great. This one was much better than it. As much as I enjoyed that first volume, this one really just it went further.
Wow, it goes prices like from nothing to very expensive.
Oh yeah, really? Yeah.
So it goes you can buy like there's no issue once most of the time, which is normal when it comes to that kind of like manga around.
Hmm.
And then you have one issue of one that goes for £8, another issue goes for £2.
Yeah.
And most of them not are in Italy or in Europe, which is already priced for delivery. It's quite expensive because everything is
Hmm.
now expensive when it comes to delivery. And then there's the collected edition, Legend of the Mother Sarah Tunnel Town.
Hmm.
Is that the volume
Tunnel
3?
Town is volume 1. That's volume 1.
Okay. So yeah, so that's the collected edition, and that's 25.
And then volume 3, I think, is called City of Angels, I think is what it's called.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. The Italians have Legend of Mother, one of 5 volumes.
Of 5 volumes.
Uh,
Interesting. Yeah. I think there's only 3, unless they just divided them up differently for
but
the
this
Italian
in
version.
Italian. So city of Sotterranea, city of children,
Hmm.
city of angels,
Hmm.
city of this place. If I'm Italian, okay, I'm learning slightly Italian, so don't quote me on it. And city of Guerra.
Ah, 420s fill in the gaps. For hard copies of volume 4 onward, we got to learn some other European languages or Japanese. Okay, so only 3 volumes got translated to English then. Okay, that makes sense.
So there you go.
Yep,
So you have
understood. Yep.
5 volumes so in Italian for sure. Okay. So city of that, city of this. It looks like everything is a city.
Right. Well,
And
geez, does it really, since 420 is here, I didn't know he was here. Does volume 3 really leave you on a cliffhanger? And then you're just
and you were so
chomping at the bit?
excited.
'Cause I'm chomping at the bit after this one for some more. So does volume 3 really do the same thing? Oh,
Oh,
that's a huge bummer actually, because
oh
I'm
my
looking for
God.
some closure on the story is what I'm looking for.
Oh, boy. Time to learn English then. Oh, I mean, European other language, right?
Yeah,
I'm trying to
I
learn.
mean, I think there's also those translated things online too that just fans of the book do. So
Yeah,
I might see if there's anything like that as well. That could be an option.
I'm trying to learn Italian. I've
Right.
always been curious about Italian language, but it's not as easy as you would think it would be. You know, like I mean, I can get it. Like I'm starting to get slowly, but reading probably yes, but speaking, I'm not even. I heard there's a translation.
There's fan
Oh yeah,
translations.
yeah.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so you can do that then. That's not a
Yeah.
problem. Oh, so we
Cool.
unraveled the situation when you found out there's more than one,
Yep.
more than three as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, what
Okay,
do you got?
okay. Just before I say, if the blah, 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 is Akira getting reprinted versions? But people, I heard there's a new hardcover coming out. You're saying Akira
Oh, is that
reprinted?
true? I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, I feel
I
like
was
they just did that giant box set thing a few years ago.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I haven't the faintest idea.
Maybe I thought so. Anyway, I was trying to. Apparently, my library had it, like Akira from, but I'm trying to basically find volume one, and I can't. So I have to specially request it. I try to especially, but there's some problem with the program, and I haven't been to actual library to ask what's going on in it because via
Hmm.
my app I can't see properly what's happening in the situation because I've been waiting for like a month for special service to be delivered to the library. I can actually go and fetch because I actually wanted to start reading Akira, at least volume one, just to see where I am with it. You know, like I've seen the
Hmm.
movies and I know the story. I
It's
know
so
the
good.
names. And
It's
just
so
yeah.
good.
So look at me. I'm going for the another IDW. So beneath the
Oh,
trees
nice. Yeah.
where nobody sees rites of Sprite. Sprite. Why is it Sprite? I know. Spring. So Howarth, second issue of the second volume. So we have a bit more like so with the first issue. I think it was really action packed, the first issue. I mean, this one is actiony, but I wasn't it doesn't continue what the issue first has done. Basically, issue one was introduction to the character of one of the victims, so sister who was looking for this, and in here is a explanation where our serial killer resides and what's her ways of dealing with her needing to be an evil person and kill everybody. Also, in this issue, we have more introductions to other characters. It's very dreamy. It's kind of weird. And animals having an animal. So a turtle character, okay, has a dog as a pet, which is kind of makes me a bit like I can't comprehend that kind of thing sometimes in my head. But in this one it's kind of like more of a situation where the town stands after this crazy serial killer. I thought she was comprehended, but now she's kind of like back to the town. They knew who she was. She's come back to this town again. The assistant who she murdered, his son is working with her now. It's kind of creepy. So it looks such a children's type of the comic book, but it has such a ways of showing you a nefarious kind of ideas of what the serial killer is all about. It's very endearing, like art style looks to it. The story is flowing really well. Although I don't know, like I know introduction to the characters is quite intriguing and stuff like that. But you kind of like where it started from the first issue, you kind of felt that it would continue but they will kind of showed also introduction to dial-up internet, which is kind of fantastic because it reminds us who had to deal with dial-up internet. We understand all this kind of things, like the flyers coming into your post to us telling you this crazy idea of internet and where you can go and explore and connect to other people. This turtle character we got introduced, he's very much happy to be working from home, and he's not really into public. He's also very much into his own routines, and then he goes to explore, and he got really excited because he could go to around the world through the screen of the internet to explore other countries without leaving his comfort of his house. So that's kind of got introduced to us. So it's basically in a way introduced to the era of the time of these characters they're dealing with. So it's definitely early of the internet era. And also our main killer, who we are well aware of, she's also gets to introduce, and that's how it basically helps her to deal with her best. That's why she kills, apparently. That's what she likes to do, right? She swim in
Mm-hmm.
the blood of her victims,
Mm-hmm.
and she chops them up like really nicely, like proper. And she likes camping, very nonchalant character. There are also situations where so she's the bear character, and there's this grizzly comes into the town, everybody gets into panic mode, and everybody goes like, oh my god, what's going on? The grizzly bear gets shot by a wolf copper. So that part of it is kind of like, I don't know,
Bizarre.
bizarre. Yeah, it's kind of like, it seems to be these characters are not really animals. These characters are like based on the kind of like type by like what you say, personalities. So
Mm-hmm.
like the closing part, like turtle, right? He's like really close in his own shell, so he's going to live in his house. He doesn't want to let go and just do his own thing, right? Then you have a copper and a wolf who is hunting person. I don't know, this is my idea of how he's maybe dealing with that situation. And the way she basically finds a beautiful thing about internet, she is the one who's giving clues to the sister of her own victim to tell her to come to the town, because this is how she's going to toy around with information. She tries to put herself in uncomfortable situations because she needs more excitement. So that's why she's putting this internet flyer, because the girl, the sister, she went to the internet to ask for help, any information you can provide about this person who I'm looking, he's my brother, and she's the one who killed him, gives them her
Mm-hmm.
clues. Oh, come to this town and talk to cover people, and you find out what's really happened to your brother. And then of course IDW likes it to put like at least 10 pages of ads right at the
Yeah,
end,
yeah, yeah,
which is annoy the hell of me. I know it's at the back, which I should be happy about, right? Not in the middle or the blah, blah, blah. But 10
yeah.
almost pages, it looks thick, right? But no, it's not.
No, I
Not
love that they put it at the back, though. I agree with you,
yeah.
instead of in the middle of the book.
Okay, 2 3 pages, but it's 7 almost
Yeah,
pages inside for the ads. But yeah, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Volume 1 was a killer. It reads really well. I read in the
yeah.
in now I'm reading in singles. I'm not sure if I am like I'm excited about story. Like it's unraveling really well. She is really he gives the characters lots of time, right? Which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's kind of intriguing how it goes.
Hello to Garage Geek, and then he's saying, I only read the first series so far, loved it.
Yeah, this one
So
is.
would you say that this is kind of up there with the first series, Rasa, so
Oh
far?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So far, it is
Yeah.
going exactly the same. It has that, as I say, he's using those pages, which is the art is really kind of like it suits the idea of. It seems to be nothing crazy happens in it, but like chops somebody off, like swims in the blood for some. Suppose
Hmm.
you didn't realize that she actually likes to swim in the blood, but then apparently
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
have like excitement of pastime, and then she's kind of like really doesn't stop, right? But I thought she
Yeah.
was stopped, but I think it's the way the town is being described, the way it's still kind of still feels sleepy, but now the town is growing, right? The city's coming to the village, right? There's need space taken away from them. Their life as they know it will change because of all this big supermarkets going to open up, introduce more workload, right? More people coming in and happy and stuff like that. So she is kind of needs to find a way to hide herself, right? So she's looking all the ways possible to deal with her needs, right?
Hmm.
Which sociopaths looking any
Hmm.
way
Hmm.
possible to be okay with society, but also just deal with the situations they want to be dealt with. And then
Hmm.
yes, so she's using like this new dial-up kind of internet as a ways to, I think, entertain her, and in the same way put herself in the positions where you shouldn't put yourself if you want to be continuously being right what she is, right?
Hmm.
So it's intriguing. It's intriguing
Yeah, cool.
for sure. It's
Yeah.
continuously doing really well. I think. I mean, it's kind of fascinating that he's managing to put those kind of pages through. And honestly, the guy would be a fantastic children's book artist, but not with the same subject, right? What he's
People in our backyard. Sorry. 1 second.
oh, stop peeping to avocado. Nosing. Where is
I'm
your
gonna
thing?
moon them.
The glass to see what they're talking about.
Yeah. Our
Anyway,
chimney, I think.
the chimney. Yeah. So yeah, intriguing.
Yeah, cool. That's
Sociopath.
awesome.
Yeah, a bear
So,
sociopath. Very
yeah,
much
yeah.
like honestly, it feels very much like I don't know if you know the series called Dexter.
I
Very
do. Yeah, I do know it.
so it kind of feels like type of Dexter was a bit more like crazy, like I can't be found out because I need to be this crazy sociopath, right? Like I need to kill
Hmm.
people because for me is the feel that I'm longing for, right? And she's kind of no, I'm out there, right? But I'm still gonna do my own ways to deal with my needs.
Hmm.
Oh.
Mm,
Yeah,
I sure do.
he likes this crazy. No, it is.
Yeah, cool.
Are you call that a music or is just noise?
Just noise. God awful. God awful noise. Just an absolute racket.
Would you be that person which goes to the building site just to record the noise?
I love it. I love it. Well, there's a book that I was reading that
Uh-huh.
talks about that. Talks about like when noise got introduced in like the
Yeah.
20s and stuff,
Yeah.
using some more of those kind of working class sounds
Yeah.
into like presenting it in like a theater.
Yeah.
The people were offended, like they were offended
Oh,
that these
really?
kind of working class environments would make it onto like the
Oh my God.
proper
Hmm.
the very
Path.
proper and prim world that they were a part of. So I mean, growing up working class, there's definitely part of that in it for me for sure because I grew
Mm.
up with a lot of those sounds just
Mm.
surrounding me, since I was like 14 years old. So yeah.
Always, are you city, right? You brought up in city as well, big cities, like.
Always, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was in the city. My grandparents had a place in the country that we would go and visit when we were little, but
Hmm.
it was the city for me, and I loved going out to the country
Hmm.
to spend time with them and stay there. Like they had a farm, so it was, especially when I was really young. I would say my Oma died, I think, when I was 9. I want to say somewhere
Hmm.
around there, 9 or 10.
Oh.
So before that, the place that they were at, one of my distinct memories is sitting on my Oma's lap as she cut the head off a chicken for our dinner, right? So they had an actual working farm,
Right.
to some degree, not massive or anything, but yeah.
Wow, she killed the chicken while you were sitting at the lab.
Yeah, yeah, to introduce, like, hey, this is where our food comes from. And I would drive the tractor around at a really early age and help with kind of, feeding the animals. They had chickens, they had pigs, they had donkey. I think they had a couple of horses as well
Mm.
too, maybe some goats, like not a massive amount, but enough to kind of sustain them, right? So yeah.
My aunt showed me how the she kills the chicken, but then she didn't realize there was a special case of the chicken where when she chopped the head off, it still ran.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It
Yeah.
escaped. It escaped. It ran away.
Yeah.
No, it's funny you could say that. I was petrified. I couldn't sleep that night
Yeah, right.
because I thought that chicken is gonna come after me.
Just continually just running. Just doesn't stop
No,
running.
he said it didn't run away, but the way they, like your adults, like how they teach you lessons, like yeah, 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 she's escaped now. She's like gone. So I
Yeah,
was in my idea in my head in that time was like, I can't sleep, right? She's gonna come
yeah.
after me. I was the witness of her demise. so,
Hilarious.
so she's gonna
Yeah, that's
come.
right. You didn't stop her. I'm coming for you. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So I was like, I couldn't sleep that night. But afterwards, they were like laughing at me because, in a way, like, no, but this is a one. Just we wanted to show you how where your food comes from. And I
Yep.
wasn't really kind of traumatized of the action. I think I was okay with, knowing that that's, I still knew that chickens were killed, but I didn't realize like the momentum of the things. If it's some of them, not all of them reacts like that, apparently, but
Hmm.
there's situations where they're basically still active, like the body is still spasms and everything still flows kind of correctly.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you don't, you actually she was supposed to hold that tight, right, when she's chopping, but somehow
Hmm.
her hand slipped and that basically just ran. I was like, I
Crazy.
thought it's
That's
like
crazy.
they did it on purpose. It's animated or something. Like your
Yeah,
kid's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
imagination. It just
Just
doesn't
to
click.
mess you up.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Yeah.
she's like, no, no, but then like they were like really kind of had fun with that kind of idea of me because funny enough, my aunt was a city girl who she always thought that village people are beneath her, and then she ended up basically now living in the farm on the farm. It's hilarious when
Hmm.
it comes that happens. Life. You don't
Yeah.
predict some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll do these ones.
Uh-huh.
So talking about stuff that I got from Lone Star. I got
Uh-huh.
this single issue Autumn Earth, Tales from the End of Time, and it's Rick, this artist that I like, Rick McCullum.
Uh-huh.
I actually sent him a photo of it, and we talked about it very, very briefly. He
Uh-huh.
was saying he doesn't even have a copy of this anymore, and was saying
Okay.
that the company that was doing this was the guy in charge spent all the money on partying basically, and then
Mm-hmm.
I guess eventually went on to be an editor at Marvel or DC. I don't remember which one. But so it has two stories in it, both
Mm-hmm.
from the 80s. He was saying it's some of his favorite work. I wasn't crazy about it. Don't tell him. I wasn't super crazy about it, to be honest. It was good, but I felt like it wasn't kind of the Rick McCollum that works for me, that like
Uh-huh.
brings me in. He's got an ability with his art, and I'll show you in the next thing I talk about, because it's a Rick McCollum book as well too.
Mm-hmm.
He's got this ability with his pages to really draw you in, and I think this is obviously like earlier in his career and stuff too. So this was what, 1984, and then I think the other one is 1986.
Uh-huh.
But you'll see the difference when I show you the other book. It just doesn't have enough going on the page. It's good and all, but it's just not my favorite stuff from him that I've read. It
Mm-hmm.
is cool though to see that earlier work actually.
Mm-hmm.
He did a couple of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles books as well too. He was
Mm-hmm.
one of those guys that got around to various places. Ashley Dust was the big one, but the one I actually loved was, again, so a little while ago, not too much longer earlier, I got a whole bunch of Eros Comics stuff. So this was the kind of side imprint from Fantagraphics. And
Mm-hmm.
this is called The Darker Side of Sex. Man, oh man, this was a hell of a book. And again, like right off the bat, you can see. So,
Oh,
fair warning, there's going to be boobs.
uh-oh.
Um,
Poor
but you can
boobs.
see right off the bat, like he's got this, his style is a lot more dense. The way he fills the page is fantastic. So, this is based on two main characters in this sort of world that they live in that is very hypersexual.
Uh-huh.
There's kind of this group, I can't remember the uh House of I can't remember what the heck it was. We'll see in issue number two.
Mm-hmm.
So
Uh-oh.
there's a lot of sex every single time, but it's so goddamn good because it plays with this idea. So this is a story written by a woman named Kathleen Hurley,
Mm-hmm.
cover and inside art by Rick McCollum, and then he's inked by a guy, Bill Cavalier, who is inking him on this one. The other
Mm-hmm.
guy that he does is Bill Anderson, I think, is the guy he usually.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much I want to push it. If it was just me doing a 10 p.m. solo video, it might be a little bit differently, but let me see if I can find some. So they basically start playing. He gets handcuffed and blindfolded, and she pretends to like cut him up, basically.
Oh,
So it gets pretty
wow.
dark,
Oh,
but she
shit.
doesn't. So it's this idea of playing with
Uh,
this pleasure and pain. And then
uh-huh.
as you get introduced to some more of the characters in the world, this is issue number two.
Yeah.
You see kind of the group that that they're both involved in. It's so good because it does this mix of, I said it before, Rick McCollum may be my favorite artist, like one of
Mhm.
my favorite artists, but I wouldn't say that his art is like erotic or anything. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say that looking at this stuff is arousing by any stretch, where I feel like that's what one of the things that Eros was trying to do, right? Like sex sells. And
Uh-huh.
there's some stuff that they put out that's very hyper realistic and things like that.
Okay.
But I think that his style works so well with this story because by the time you get to issue number four, I'll
Mm-hmm.
just show you kind of the premise of issue number four, where he really comes into his own with the what's happening in the panels. There's another story that's happening on the
Okay.
border
Mm-hmm.
of every single page that actually is a pretty impactful ending to the whole story, but you're seeing it kind of take place on those outer edges. And I
Mm-hmm.
found that worked so well for me to like get you into this world.
Uh-huh.
It really is an immersive experience because that page is it's art from edge to edge, corner to corner. So goddamn good. I was surprisingly impressed with this one. Um, I guess with this kind of stuff, I don't expect very much. It's like going to see a mainstream superhero movie and go, oh, actually, that was a pretty good fucking story. This was the same kind of thing. I didn't expect to have kind of an intriguing world and an intriguing story throughout these four issues that was a legit kind of good read, to be honest. So I really, really liked that one.
Okay. Cool.
Strategically placed. Did I place a finger in a perfect spot? Excellent. Only seen that in one other book. Oh yeah, right. The playing on the panels. Which book did you see that in before there, Garage Geek?
That would be nice to know.
So yeah, that's the darker side of sex. Really goddamn good.
So it's only 4 issues with him. So
It was
what
only
is
the four issues, yeah.
so is he creates his own he writes or he just draws? That's what you draw
No, this
in.
one he was just the art. It was a woman named Kathleen,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
was it
But
Hurley or something, I think was her name. So she wrote all four issues.
yeah.
And then he did another book with Eros as well, and she wrote that one as well, and he did the art, and that was 3 issues. So I
Uh-huh.
guess that's also the nice thing. I mean, I don't know if it was like a fake name of somebody or whatever. I haven't looked into the writer actually,
Yeah.
but I like the idea of, female writing the story and having him draw it. I think it just gives it that extra bit of an angle too that's
Yeah.
pretty intriguing. So yeah.
Does he write himself? Does he has anything written by his
He
own
does
draft?
also write himself. So the Ashley Dust stuff he did himself.
Mhm.
This Autumn Earth is him. I think everything else that I have of his, the one shot Horde, that's all stories that I believe they're all written by him. So and then he's working on new stuff now.
Oh, is he?
Um,
Wow.
yeah, so that's why I'm hoping that I can get an interview with him for Canon. That's kind of the premise of us kind of chatting on Facebook.
Hmm.
But he wants to wait a little bit because he wants something to be done so it can be like a promotional thing too. So
Oh yeah.
I'm looking
Big
forward to
commitment.
talking with him though. I'm very just curious about these kind of artists from that era who were self-publishing. What was that like for them? Because
Mhm.
that Horde was the only thing that they published on their own imprint, him and Bill Anderson's publishing company. That's the only thing that they managed to do. And then also what it was like working with a bunch of these other small publishers, right? To see what was that world like at the time, and then getting a chance to do like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like that must have got him quite a bit of money to
Yeah.
kind of keep doing his own arts as well. So very intrigued to hear more from him.
It's funny that the turtles line, extra creators they had, they like that's why they're having like licensing issues, because those creators actually do have say what they need, what probably they
Yep.
have to be paying extra money for to, and that's why I don't think IW has reprinted all the old turtle stuff because of licensing issues and stuff like
Yep.
that. So
Well,
it's
and
like,
that's the thing, because as it went on, I mean, it was a maybe I don't know if it was the first book, but probably an early book that was kind of handing characters over to other artists. And there's so many good artists that they've had. I mean, those Zuli issues are
yes.
phenomenal. You know, like they're
Hmm.
phenomenal. Corbin's done stuff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess getting the rights for those individual issues, because I think that they did things the way they should be. They didn't kind of take ownership of the art itself. They had a deal where they
Mm.
also had the rights to it. And I guess the one that was a real beef was the Cerebus appearing in like issue
Dave
8 or
Stevens.
9 or whatever it was, right?
Hmm.
That I think they couldn't get reprinted because of Dave Sim
Yeah, Dave Simmons not.
saying hell to the no.
Maybe it's not enough money, but
Yeah,
I
probably
would be
not.
surprised that he wouldn't. You know, like at the end of the day, they probably gonna would get any chunk, a part of licensing thing. You whatever you sell, you still getting trinkles towards you, right? Because it's
Mhm.
licensing towards your work. So
Maybe
you would,
Dave Sim has a box filled with that single issue and he's just wanting to cash in. If I say no and it's not available anywhere else, he'll start putting them out online and cashing in. I'm kidding, I guess, but yeah.
he's waiting the waiting game.
Yeah, exactly. Just yeah, playing it out.
Yeah, because it does work sometimes. You know, we have an examples of that kind of like, because it's not something like those. Do you think those Mirage originals has been like it has like the first 10 issues for sure has been reprinted for like heavily, right? And you have like
Yeah.
four-fifth printing of number one issue, which is
Oh, so many different printings. Yeah.
yeah. So you know you would think, but then later on, those don't tend to be reprinted, right? Because it's such a long in the way run. So whoever likes the turtles will continuously have that. But then I
Mhm.
don't think it used to be that kind of thing where you reprinted those issues on demand because of so popularity. Would
Well,
you?
and I think that's the thing. As it went on, they realized
Yeah,
how popular it was, so they just started
yeah,
printing more. They could afford to print double the
yeah.
amount or whatever,
Mm,
right? So they
exactly.
didn't need to reprint. Yeah, those first few issues for sure. Those
Yeah,
are being reprinted. Who knows? It's like the Freak Brothers stuff. Those
yeah.
have been reprinted. Some of those, like some of those early issues, I don't know, like 16, 17, 18 times. You know what I mean? It's just kind of that perennial, everybody loves that stuff, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. And then my last things I've been reading. So
hmm
I went on this like reading backwards. I end up basically. So do you remember I was saying I was reading? I wanted to read more thing,
hmm
and then of course to Marvel, I I went on that research part of it. So while I was reading a couple of pages, they tell me this great story because I saw this mask, an
a nihilist or something, isn't it?
Annihilus mask, right? So I got really intrigued by it, and then they were telling you which issues to go read on. So I looked it up in my collection, and I did have 257
Ho
issue,
ho ho.
and then I had 256, which I was so how is so they in this comic book they recommend you to go to this issue, right? I start
Mhm.
reading it, it's like something is not great because of course I was so happy because of this guy
Oh yeah.
appeared. And I was like, oh yes, great. But then I was like, start reading, and it's like, wait a minute, doesn't it's like something is. And then of course looking to see, and they in this issue, they say, oh look back an issue prior to that, which is this one. And I was like, oh for God's sake. So I was basically starting to read the story from the backwards onwards, yeah. And it was about this Annihilus character, which is basically started here. and Fantastic Four got into a negative zone by kind of like coincidence, in the same way Annihilus was in that negative zone, and that's how he appeared on the Baxter Building, because it's called Annihilation Gambit. It is collected in Epic Edition Volume. I did research, but I forgot to put notes on. But this story is actually collected in Epic editions now. The Avengers Epic editions, I think, volume 13 or 10, something, or 11, I don't know. Anyway, so and it's a full story is actually with all the, because there's another issue which is in Avengers, which I didn't completely read. I kind of read the synopsis to get me going with this one. So basically, what happens to Fantastic Four? Yeah, look, John Burns. Like I'm proper on Fantastic Four. John Byrne kick. I really like it, and the more I read, I enjoy it. So they end up being in negative zone, and while they're in negative zone, the Annihilus is basically jumps back into Baxter Building, and he has this nefarious situation where he's going to create um, imploding two spheres together, and it collapses everything and destroys things, because what Annihilus discovered, which was in the previous issues, which I have not read, that he's dying, exoskeleton of his not working anymore. And the last kind of like Syrah kind of like move I'm gonna make, and I want to make as much damage as they all bad guys kind of wish to do. So, and then this story is basically starts with Fantastic Four trying to go back, and they can't do it. And while that things happen, of course, our Galactus is going and having to, consume, and they decide to consume Skrull territories. What Skrulls were very good at, and I thought they were good at like covering the locations where even the um, like anybody passing by wouldn't be noticing, but because Herald of Galactus has this special powers, and this is the another female Herald of Galactus, is that she's girlfriend or love, one of the love of Johnny Storm. Her name is she's called Nova in here, but her name is I'm not sure if they say it in here. They did kind of give you the introduction, but now while I'm showing and speaking, I'm not really recalling correctly. But anyway, so it's full of action scenes, and in here he's dealing with situations. So while this happens in the Baxter Building with Fantastic Four and Negative Zone, the Avengers are having to deal with that, because he's creating this orb around the Baxter Building, which keeps expanding, and Avengers needs to deal with that situation because people are panicking. Imagine in New York City, you have this um, thing which is invincible, but you can't penetrate it anymore. And if all the Avengers and Vision, for example, who is able to go through building sites and stuff like that, he goes through it and basically ends up having to completely, like, it seems to be he dies. One that gets to in panic mode. Then we have a new Captain Marvel, which is the black female character they have in here, who is having this kind of intriguing things, and she finds a solution to actually to cause all this annihilations problems, and this is what happens to the our Vision. He's
Vision there, yeah.
basically inactive. Wanda
Yeah.
is panicking because she's saying, "Okay, my God, my husband is dead. My husband is dead." But basically, because of that temporal whatever dome keeps appearing, he's basically completely got shut down. Yeah. Oh, cool. So many Avengers characters. Sometimes you can't keep up, you know.
Mhm.
But what I really intrigued about this one is basically showing almost to the T the construct, or the ship kind of like Galactus is using to because I remember when I was watching the Fantastic Four movie, I didn't realize how that this huge contract actually digested, and he just needs to sit in his throne, and is basically kind of speed feeds him, and that's how he's actually able to keep up with his Uninterrupted powers and being
Hmm.
alive for lots of reasons, like this construct. I really like that. And in here, it's almost to a T of the movie. It says in here that he's struggling. He's struggling with his distance. He can't deal with the situation. The person who's actually trying to up his emotions was his Herald Nova. Nova is completely and utterly kind of like she's starting to be in love with Galactus, which is the first time I hear that the Herald of Galactus actually completely believes in the mission kind of thing, like the why they exist and why they are needed by Galactus. I've never thought that somebody will have like special feelings towards the person who basically turned them into heralds, which is completely strips of their personality, and they become like a puppet almost to a T for Galactus to deal with, like go search like a dog, like okay, I'm hungry, fetch, like fetch me a planet, I'm gonna consume it and completely destroy it. And then there's conversation between Death and kind of Galactus having this conversation with her and saying like, "Oh, we're the ones who has been there, like from the beginning. We
From the
can't
yeah,
kind of.
yeah, yeah.
I'm tired. I can't deal with the situations anymore." And Death saying to him, "Well, it's not your time yet, darling," which is hilarious. But you have the creature of this kind of magnitude, and Death is kind of tells him like, "Oh no, 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 it's not your time yet." You have to wait. It will come to that point, kind of thing. It will be
Mm.
the end of something. So it's kind of hilarious. And this is like Nova dealing with kind of telling him like, "Don't worry, I found the planet. You can't believe." And this armada of scrolls, right? Which kind of is crazy because it's apparently scrolls. They have this armada and they have queens and kings, and basically you witness demise of them. That's the queen and her daughter, and
Mhm.
they kind of like, this is it for us, right? This is end. And they basically end in here. There's a page of utter destruction by Galactus coming on the land and almost standing on the places where he's absolutely going to destroy it, and them basically burning around them, and the last thing you see is kaboom, and no
Mm.
more of a scroll empire. Basically, that's the way.
Crazy.
So it's really a fantastic tale, but the way I was reading it's backwards, right? So everything kind of like, oh, it doesn't, now it makes a little bit more sense. Now it makes a little
Hmm.
bit more
Hmm.
sense. It would be actually quite a good story to read from the get go because it does unravel really well. And also, there's the Jonas Storm is having an apartment. That's just like an extra story you don't really need it to have. And of course, you have when I went to this page and they're celebrating, they were back and everything seems to be okay. And then in the hospital, I was like, what's happened? But what's happened is that I don't know where the issues. Do I have it? Their child Franklin was in that situation. Oh, this is. He ends up being in the hospital because of Annihilus basically creating that force field or whatever, and to impale and whatever his way of dealing with this. He was basically bashing Alicia, the Thing's love, to a pulp, and Franklin got into basically there because they were left in the building, and Fantastic Four felt like when they were negative zone that their child will be okay. And what the decision in this comic book, now we find out that Fantastic Four are running away from Baxter Building because they're deciding that this is too much.
Mm.
Because, surprise and spoiler alert from 1980s,
Yeah.
Sue Storm is pregnant. So
Who's
she's
Sue
gonna have
Storm? Yeah, yeah,
so she's gonna have another child. So there's
yeah.
going to be a sibling for Franklin to have. And now they're looking for a building, and she's disguising herself with a wig of brown wig, and she wants to live in suburbia and run away from all this hustle and bustle. Fink starts to panic because he says, "Oh my God, no more Fantastic Four." And they had this conversation saying, "No, don't worry, we're still gonna be Fantastic Four. We just can't have our kids being in the main, like places where everything happens." Also in here you have the robots, which is probably the first time I've seen in the comic books, because as I am not really fully versed in the Fantastic Four, I'm scratching the surface really for the amount of history the Fantastic Four has. But this is the Reed Richards trying to appease Wanda to say to her, "Don't worry, he's recharging. He's basically gone on the safe mode, like a computer, and he's saving himself, and he's all be okay." But there's, of course, ta 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 ta. There's something else happening, which like always the comic book on the next issue. Yeah, Herbie on the next issue of the Fantastic Four. So I don't have a lot of. I have quite extensive amount of John Byrne's Fantastic Four. Um, and yeah, and it's fantastic. I'm finding it quite a fan of Burns in generally. I read all
Hmm.
quite like a lots of Fantastic Four of Byrne, and everything is quite intriguing and fantastic. Even, I think I know the modern type of Hickman's Fantastic Four. I'm a fan of. I heard that who is that name? What's his name now? What is his name? I'm blanking. He's now working for DC. He's kind of jumping up and forth. Um, the name of it. He
Jeff
done.
Johns or something, or one of those guys.
No, no, no. He didn't do Fantastic Four.
Mm.
I forgot the name, but one of the Fantastic Four and another one's apparently supposed to be on a reading pile. If you no, not Tom King, not the modern one. What is his name now? It's gonna bother me now. Hate it. I hate it. I mean, I I should maybe look up for the name. Oh my god. Okay, how do you find out? Fantastic Four great writers,
Eras.
I guess. Okay. Mark Wade. There you go.
Oh, right.
So Mark Wade's run of Fantastic Four is something you should also read. Apparently, it's very good. So I think it
Hmm.
was John Byrne, timeline wise, like the who wrote like one after another. So John Byrne, of course, I'm not talking Stan Lee. Okay, then John Byrne. Then you have Mark Wade. Then you have Hickman. And then who else after Hickman? I don't know because I don't haven't read to that modern era of Fantastic Four. But I
Hmm.
am becoming quite a fan of Fantastic Four, especially. I'm not really a big fan of Fantastic Four from Stanley era because the way Sue Storm or any female was treated like. Because it just they were like just for, you know, as a background characters, like just to look pretty and, like kind of thing. It just felt like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
Not given attention and that.
Not an active part of the story. Yeah.
Exactly. And then here, like John Burns, Sue Storm has an amount of a lot of to say. They kind of bicker quite a lot of between two Reed Richards, and she puts them into his place. Like, what the hell? I know you already. You can't just blatantly lie because Reed Richards has a very much of lying always like, oh no, I'm not gonna bother you, like I can't disclose that much information, you're gonna go crazy. He knows in the
Hmm.
future, right? Because I'm so clever, I can foresee steps ahead of myself like tenfold, and nothing is really great. But most of the time, who is instigating those steps is him, by experimenting and getting into situations they shouldn't be in the first place.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah. Oof. Too, especially like those. I think John Burns, there's situations, but it seems to be they have a better voice. Of course, with time, I think she's been given the time and need of who she is. She has a really good power of, like the power, the way she's disclosing herself, like that force field. Like she can protect everybody. She can like, like that kind of like impenetrable things. And then, of course, Reed Richards has this elasticity and all that kind of crazy stuff. But
Hmm.
yes, intriguing. I mean, the more I read of that era of Fantastic, or more of Fantastic Four, I read, is kind of intriguing the way they were in situations, and Avengers kind of like intertwine between, because they're kind of part of it, may not really part of it. They part of it, they're not really, but they just the history of the superheroes is kind of everywhere,
Yeah.
and you just can't read it all in one go,
No,
especially
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
you
Well, I
collect.
mean, that's why it's good that there's people
Yeah,
out there that have, and they can tell you about the eras. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's nice to
Did
have
you
that like experiment of looking for all issues to read one storyline. You kind of
mhm.
have it all. Oh,
Did you read that thing issue as well too, or no? Not yet, because you went to back to read the Fantastic
no,
Four
that's
stuff.
the thing. I got so much in that thing.
Yeah.
So because that's what got me intrigued. So the thing
Yeah. Yeah.
supposed to be my first reading part, right? And then the minute
Uh-huh.
I see that mask, I was like, oh shoot, I want to actually know what's going on because of they say.
Hmm.
And that just, and because he was basically what he thing is doing in this issue is basically kind of uh, cleaning up after all the annihilate, like whatever happened. So all this
Hmm.
rubble, it because like part of a Baxter building basic crumbled inside out because what Captain Marvel did, she shot up into the sky, almost to the sun, charged herself to a point of like I don't know whatever nova kind of thing, and crashed down. That kind of amount of whatever explanation or inertia, it collapsed everything and
Hmm.
basically destroyed all the plants. Because but somehow Fantastic Four was doing exactly kind of similar thing in a negative zone with Reed
Hmm.
Richards, and those combining together made everything all go okay. Like that's how superhero
Right,
thing.
right. Canceled each other out.
Yeah. Oh, really? Everyone is raving about a new thing run. Oh, I wonder who is
Mm.
writing the thing because I know that Marvel hasn't done really well in anything lately. Now that DC has been doing all those reprinted versions, like the Epic supposed line, but they are like what they call them. I forgot the word. Fine line. I don't know. Anyway, they call that line. That kind of like and no, but I keep when I watch YouTube videos, I only hear good things about DC, and I don't
Yeah.
hear anything about Marvel. Oh,
Yeah,
let's
it's
not talk
funny how
about.
that happens. Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
because
looking on the shelf, it's like the DC
yeah,
stuff is catching my eye more these
yeah,
days, so yeah.
because I think a lot of a part of once again Fantastic Four and written by a new writer. He's been doing it for quite some time now. A part of that, I heard only good things. I read the first three actually volumes, and I actually also enjoyed it. But it felt like I was reading what it was done already. So he didn't really do
Yeah.
anything new. He kind of used what it was written before, kind of made it his own. But it was entertaining, right? And then, of course, Hickman again is back to do some crazy event, Imperial, I think it's called,
Okay.
and that's is it X-Men again involved or not? I'm not sure because I'm not sure. And Ultimate Spider-Man, yes, which is also everybody raving about. Which is isn't it Hickman
Right.
again? I think it's Hickman
I
again
don't know.
because Hickman is basically the only one basically left. But I heard something saying that they getting the more like better or like esteemed writers again back to the Marvel. Maybe we
Oh,
finally maybe gonna finally realize that they need to kind of get the people excited about Marvel again, but I'm not sure. But
right.
honestly, I only hear on YouTube, especially people who we kind of follow about comic books. DC is like full front. Everybody just gets excited about that all the time.
Yeah, interesting. That's interesting.
Mm.
It's usually on the back burner for sure. So,
I saw some
um,
I saw some Doctor Strange cover or something or book they're gonna do, and that looked
oh
quite
yeah,
nice. Maybe you should look at it, and because I know you like to experiment.
yeah, I know, but I feel like I've been burnt too many goddamn times. I haven't read it yet, but
Uh-huh.
did you see this Hellboy one shot?
I've seen it. I mean, I've looked at it at things. I'm not. I didn't realize he's doing it again with
Yeah,
Hellboy.
either did I. So that was the surprise. And
You
then
know,
seeing the artist, let me just try to
who's the artist? He
come up with
usually
some of
likes
this
to
stuff.
the also the.
Giuseppe Minunta.
No, oh,
Holy hell, dude.
is it good?
Here, I'll
Big,
make myself
yeah. Oh,
bigify myself.
oh yeah, that's good. That looks like
It
really
looks
much.
like a stunner. So I'm really intrigued. I'm also really glad that it is only a one shot.
Yeah. Oh,
But speaking of Ninja Turtles, she kind of looks like that time lady there from the Ninja Turtles, whose name I'm forgetting.
uh-huh.
Right around that Cerebus run, actually. But it looks gorgeous. So I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. We'll
Garage
see what.
Geek, read BPRD
Yeah,
if you want
yeah.
Hellboy.
I have been reading it. I'm just. What do I have? The first three volumes. I just
Uh,
haven't gotten the rest of the volumes yet. But
Hellboy
yeah,
is
no, I'm
great.
I'm well into it.
Hellboy is great, but there's lots of like single issues, and it's being collected. If you can, I have this monster-sized Hellboy. That's a good way of
Yeah.
collecting a lot of stuff, and you can read it if you want to. It's a monster of the book for sure. But
Hmm.
I highly recommend if you like the universe of Hellboy at all, BPRD in that stuff starts. Oh, that is just a storyteller you don't want to look away from after you start.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, you had the
Yeah, it's a
first
lot.
one.
It's a lot to work through for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But to kind of like for my last thing, I guess I'll just show
yeah.
you. I don't know if Dan Ellison is still here, but we
Hello,
did a
Danny.
trade. Hello, Donald
Hello.
Rex. How you doing, man?
Mm,
We did a trade, and his stuff came in for me,
okay,
and I'm pretty excited about it.
go on.
So I don't know if he's still in the room, but Nathan Never. So I guess
Mm,
this is like an Italian comic that got translated in English again, Dark Horse, which
uh-huh.
also, I'm super intrigued by it, but then I'm also scared because I know that the rest of this, if I really do like it, is going to be fucking impossible to find more than likely. So this is
Yeah.
book one of six, no less.
Oh
But it looks
no.
really great. Yeah, I know.
Oh no.
Um, Mehdi, let's see the names. Nathan Never, created by Mehdi, Sarah, and Vigna. Script
Mm,
is Michelle Meda.
oh my
Art is
god.
Nicola Mari. So it looks really great, black and white, beautiful stuff. Always curious to see some old Dark Horse stuff. He also,
Italians
sorry, what?
Italians have 20 volumes of that Nathan Never.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah. It doesn't surprise me at all. He also had issue one of Lone Wolf and Cub that he sent me, which is
Oh,
great.
nice.
I
That's
used
a,
to
such
have
a
the small volumes, but those
yeah.
books were so small. I got rid of them such a long time ago. I was buying them when we were living in Ontario. I
There's
don't know if I necessarily want to get the single issues at this point because
yeah.
they're just so many of them. I don't know if I want to. I don't have the room for them, but
It's
it's great to have number one. I'll definitely sit and read this.
it's coming into a new format, reprinted.
Ah, I see.
Deluxe, I think. I don't know if it's a hardcover, but it's coming out with a new printing. Love won the cup. That's I know for
Yeah,
sure. I looked it up at somewhere. But yeah,
yeah. So long, Garage Geek.
yeah,
Thanks for stopping in there.
lovely.
He also gave me a couple of
What is that?
uh, why am I blanking on the word now?
Uh,
The soybean printed. Holy
what?
Jesus, I'm just pulling a U there. Risograph, the Risograph printed
Oh,
comics. So by the same creator from Paper City Publishing in Jackson, Florida. I've
oh,
never heard of them. Let's get the credits here. Art and story by a guy named Tony Alupi, I think is what that says. It's hard to see, but this one is a silent comic, the Aquabarian, so kind of this barbarian underwater, and it looks really great, really nice color. There's also you get a little bit more detail. It looks like there's almost collage happening
mm-hmm,
here for some of the pages inside, which is super cool.
mm.
And then the other one from the same creator is Cryptids from the Damned Platoon. So I don't know if it's a monster slash army story. That one is going to be very cool. So both by the same creator.
Interesting.
And then the last one that he got me was one that he had found on the
Oh my
shelves. Did a little drawing on the bag for me as well too.
goodness.
Um, he found it on the shelves and he had talked to me about it before. I'm a big fan of like NBM and a lot of like
Yeah.
Catalan and things like that.
Yes.
And then there's a guy, Ignacio Noy is his name. I thought that it was Gaspar Noy, who was a
Mm-hmm.
film director, but Doctor, I'm
Oh.
Too Big by Ignacio Noy from the NBM Erotica. And it's this woman who wants to be a model, but she's being told that she's too fat.
Oh no.
And then the story, so she goes on these pills and they make her sex crazed, of course, because why wouldn't they?
Yeah. Of course.
And then it just kind of goes from there. But it's honestly beautifully painted. I'll show you some very tame panels, but really nice painted stuff. So they have kind of like the stereotypical models to start it off there. But apparently Ignacio Noy did a bunch of kids books,
Really?
and
Really?
also did like absolute filth. I've read the Convent of Hell. He's also got the Ship of Fools and then Piano Tuner, and it's
Oh,
pretty graphic stuff as you go through. There's lots of like she's in a dream world because she's all drugged up. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of stuff that's like it's not really happening to her, but then there's also some really body sex stuff. It's a lot of fun. It's really goofy. Um, and just plays around with a bunch of ideas of kind of, yeah, there's not many pages, honestly, I can show you here, but they're all stunning paintings, though. They're really impressive, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. And just that idea of like
Yeah.
people in kind of the kids world just getting just having some outlet to just go the completely extreme opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
I was showing some of the books to my wife, and and I'm like, this one I won't show you the interiors. I'm like, it's very adult. She's like, well, what do you mean very adult? Like, there's boobs in it. I'm like, well, yes, but it's very adult. If it just had naked women, and I would show it to you, but this is very adult. She's like, well, what do you mean? So I showed her some of the pages. She's like, oh, I see. Oh, right. Yeah, very, very
It's
adult.
hilarious. That is
Yeah.
scary.
I don't know what was in that. Anyway, that's kind of what I have.
Me too.
Um, oh, that must have been this. Oh my God, I've just got a chaotic mess
Mm,
down by me now.
oh,
Anyway,
believe me. I have quite a chaotic mess because I'm trying to look what I want to sell. I sell two lots already, which is not that
okay.
quick. But I did sell Seasons, and I sold a Extremity by Daniel Warren Johnson.
Mm.
So at least I'm making some. It's very difficult to sell books which is not superheroes. I
Are you
think.
selling them on eBay? Where are you selling them?
Yeah, I'm on eBay.
Hmm.
Doing that. If you want to check, Music Creative is my eBay tag.
Hmm.
The very name I created like a long ass time. I don't know what the hell I'm doing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but so yeah, I am selling. So anybody in UK can check it out if you want to message
yeah,
me saying I know you from YouTube. I can give you a discount, I presume, or make a deal. But I'm usually quite I try to sell stuff, right? So I'm not
yeah.
putting some crazy price on. I was looking. So
It's priced to sell, not to become rich from it, I guess. Yeah.
well, no, I just want, yeah, first I want to get rid of it. Of course, I want to get some money back from if I can. That would be great. It's just that would basically move forward towards something else I want to buy from comic related things. But I started to
Hmm.
think I need to start to get things out, especially like those like Extremity. I haven't finished all their whole. I just started reading for 3 issues and I didn't pick it up afterwards. Those kind of things needs to go away from here because I'm not planning to read them like or collect them in the whole run. If I want to read them, I probably would read them in collected editions, right? So I want to sell those kind of things and
Hmm.
just try to have less of that. Well, whatever I want in single formats, actually, I'm really gonna have it for quite a long time. So basically, I'm trying to reduce amount of I have because I think
Yes.
I'm gonna lose this room very soon to my son because
Oh, right.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
right.
he's growing up and he needs more space, and
Oh no.
this is the bigger room, so I'm probably gonna be squished in a very small room. So
Yeah.
I need to remove the space of what I have
Hmm.
slowly. That's very slow. I'm trying to do, but I need to start going with that, which is
Well,
quite
honestly,
annoying.
it's just a good idea to do it anyway, right? Like
Yeah.
it's always a good idea to have a look. And you selling stuff reminds me I should do the same.
Mm.
Start looking through stuff to get
Because
rid of because I got
I
books that
when
are
you don't
worn out.
I haven't sold anything for a long time on eBay, and they keep
Hmm.
changing the rules. Now you can sell like a year some certain amount without paying in taxes on top of it, or you can
Hmm.
sell for free. The way they say it, but they still put amount you can actually basically sell for free, I presume.
Yep.
But which is
Yeah, that's been there for a little while, which is super helpful because I'm in the same boat. I don't sell much on eBay,
yeah,
so it's been nice to have a couple of things sell and not have to pay the
yeah.
super high premiums on shit or whatever.
One thing I don't like is that they keep the money until the person receives the things.
Right.
So so the money doesn't come to your account for long as time, which is
Mm.
not very, not quick as it used to be. Like the minute you sell you, the money is in your account almost to a T,
I mean
which
that
is
that gets better the more you sell,
yeah,
obviously, right? Like I
yeah,
think it's because you haven't sold very much. Yeah.
yeah. I think that's what it is as well. So,
Yep.
so I'm trying
And
to
they
get
don't
it.
use PayPal anymore, and they haven't for a while, which sucks because there's so many other sites that
Yeah.
use PayPal, that it's also nice to kind of have that stuff in a
Credit.
PayPal account
Yeah.
that then just gets automatically taken, because I've got a couple of Patreons that I've subscribed to.
Yeah.
So making those sales and having a little bit of money in
Yeah.
PayPal
Yeah.
makes it
Yeah.
easier to get those things
Oh yeah.
paid.
I guess you have to go through and transfer yourself to PayPal. I guess the money or have a
Well,
credit
it
of.
goes directly to your bank from eBay. I don't know if it's the same with you over there, but I mean that's the thing that kind of like stopped me for a little while, because I wasn't crazy about giving my banking information to them. It's like, well, that's why I have like this third party, that things go through
Yeah.
PayPal. I just
Yeah.
give it to
For
one
safety.
person. I don't have
Yeah.
to give it to a bunch of other people. I just give it to one.
Yeah. Yeah. I have. They call it a credit as well now. eBay credit. So is
Okay.
this another thing they will do? They put in the credit, or maybe you can just tick the button and then they put in your account. I'm not sure yet.
I see. Okay. I'll look into that.
So
Yeah.
I have to look on that. But what I'm trying to do is try to slowly remove the stuff. So in lots, it's easier to sell. So
Hmm.
than singles, of course. If singles is more, if you have like older stuff, it sells. But like
Yeah.
the seasons, surprisingly enough, there was lots of listings of seasons, to my surprise, and all of
Hmm.
them were kind of high in price. I was like, well, I'm gonna ask for like I don't know what less than a trade paperback
Hmm.
because 6 issues was a trade paperback. That's how
Hmm.
much. So I put that on. Somebody already asked for it. Like, okay, cool. Because
Yeah.
that's the whole point, like you have to get them out of your house. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
I can wait. I do understand. I can also do that, but I just kind of wants to start moving, right? So
Yeah.
all that stuff, but then the thing is, I was like, oh, like eBay suggests you what price it goes for, like what they sold in the whatever. It's like somebody was selling one, probably one lucky douche spend too much money on it and they spend like more than 25 pounds and they offer me to put the price for 15 quid or something like it's like I'm not gonna sell. I looked it up on the listings on eBay. It's like everybody
Hmm.
asking the same price, so how do I stand out? I'll reduce the price, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
If I want
Yeah,
to
and like you
move this
said, do
stuff.
you want to sell it, or what do you want to do with it? If you can afford to sit on it and wait, then yeah, absolutely. Then sit on it and wait for sure.
Because at the end of the day, as I say, I'm trying to do it.
Get it
Like
out. Yeah.
I need to start. Another thing is they do, which I wasn't realizing, is that they, the postage. You set the postage, and they have the offers who provides the postages. I wasn't realizing that you have to print that label, and that is already paid, or by the whoever buys it, right? So
Hmm.
you pay the postage price as well as you pay for the item. But I didn't realize that it's automatically you have to go through eBay to print it out the label, not going through the postal services, right? And thankfully, I realized at the time because I would have spent extra money on postages, and that was already paid for.
Uh,
You
uh-huh.
understand? So it's already been done. It's just you
Right.
need. The only thing you need to do is pack and put the label on it. It's already
Right, right,
done
right, right,
by
right.
eBay. With
Well, shit.
and I
I
was like,
wonder
why
if
would
I've
I
made that mistake then in the past.
check it out? Honestly, it's
Yeah.
something you don't realize because I went. I was like, because like you know who you basically trust as your delivery service, right? So I went to
Hmm.
that and I was like, okay, they pay two, whatever pounds I decided to spend on the postage because local, at the end of the price is whatever it is. And I was like, so I have to go now to that place to sell, and I was like, no, just look a little bit more. It's like print your own label. Okay, so I pressed on that, and there's a fucking old thing. It's paid
Yeah, yeah,
post,
yeah.
just a sticker. So I slapped a thing on that and just pushed it away on the
Gone.
whatever Dropbox, and that's it. That's the only thing I had to do. But I was nervous. Like, did I put it correct price? Like sometimes you don't put correct price
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because when you go to somebody to see, they tell you, oh, this is too heavy, for example, right?
Hmm.
But now I looked it up and everything seems to be okay. It got delivered. It actually has tracking on it, so you actually can track your own sending.
That's good.
So
Yep.
you can actually know. So it was said delivered. So surely I
Yeah.
will get the money now.
Tracking, and that's the thing. Tracking is like a necessity. You gotta track shit because you're
Yeah, because
sending
people are
stuff to a
taking
complete
shit.
stranger. There's too many
Yeah.
horror stories out there. Yeah.
But another thing is, I usually more afraid of that when if it's a very high price book I'm selling, for
Hmm.
example. But if I sell it for like, the only thing it happens to me is that I lose the items I send it through, right? Nothing else will happen to me afterwards. But
Hmm.
I'm just
Hmm.
gonna lose the comics, right? But
Yeah.
with that kind of thing, with the comic book, it's not something I'm gonna go completely crazy about. I'm not
Hmm.
gonna have too much of the nerves and like, oh my god, what am I gonna do now? I'm losing my comics. It's not really like I'm gonna go crazy for it. If it's
Yeah, yeah.
expensive item, that's for sure. Anything goes for tracking.
But I think even if stuff goes wrong, though, even if it's just basic stuff, that
Yeah.
can, because I mean, I pride myself on like, my 100% rating and stuff
Oh
because I don't
yeah,
want shit that's
yeah,
going wrong.
yeah,
Like, I'm more worried about that stuff because I mean, on
yeah.
Discogs, for example, I have
Hmm.
my stuff filtered that only people with a very specific, I think it's like 95% approver rating and above can see my stuff. You
Oh
can
wow.
set it on stuff like Discogs, right?
Shit.
Because I don't want to deal with someone who's brand new. I want to deal with someone that this isn't a
Aware.
job for me. This is like just selling stuff. So I just want it to be as smooth as possible. And so in the
Mhm.
same thing in the back too, like my ratings on Discogs and eBay and stuff are just really high. Then that way my stuff gets out there more. If it's 100%, I know that everybody's going to see it, as opposed to someone that might have somebody filtered out if you don't hit a certain threshold, right?
Yeah.
So
The only thing I also I've been doing is taking pictures. You know,
yeah, that's a
somebody
good
says,
idea.
"Wow, you didn't send it." Well, there's my hand, there's a stamp of the time and date, and there's a picture where I'm putting it. So if
Hmm.
you want to tell me that I haven't done it, there's my picture proof. That's what
Hmm.
another thing
Yeah.
I want to do. Because it's a lot of things saying, "Oh, you didn't do it. You didn't actually send it. You just want the money." I heard that
Hmm.
many times. So I take a
Hmm.
picture of the item. When everything transaction goes and it's quiet, right? Then I delete the evidences. I don't need it anymore, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Delete the evidence. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what I
I
mean?
know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
Extra trash.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm trying to do that as
Cool.
well.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's get the hell out of here. Thanks to everybody who stopped by. 420, Dan Elson, Garage Geek, Donald Rex, and whoever else was lurking. I think those are the people we chatted with
Cool.
this week.
Yeah.
So thanks very much for tuning in. And hopefully we'll see you next weekend. I'm hoping that it works out. I work next Saturday, but that should
Okay.
still be okay for Sunday. It depends on how this work week goes.
I do.
Donald, before you go, do you have a chat with Garage Geek coming up? Because when you came in, all of a sudden he left to prepare. Are you guys doing something tonight, a hangout or something? That's it. I'll be back tonight to talk about some stuff, and we'll look a bit more at some of the stuff that Dan and I traded.
Hmm.
It's pretty cool shit in there for sure. So,
That's cool.
okay,
Yeah. Bye bye.
later, everybody.